Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, the 17th of June. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends, and we don't mind telling you, all systems are go. We are on the air on WAZU FM 90.7 and also on YouTube, and you can access us on YouTube worldwide, anywhere in the world, and pick us up at Roger and Friends LS. And we have Terry Chamberlain this morning to thank for that. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Dave Poehls is here as well. Good morning, Dave.
Oh, good morning.
And Tyrus was first in the classroom all the way from Princeville.
He gets the prize.
And, well, he's excited because Tyrus Kileon is going to the Cardinal game today.
Yeah.
And those of you who are watching on YouTube, he's got on his Cardinal uniform with number 45. That's an unusual number. In baseball. Mm-hmm. Now, my brother, I believe, wore 55 with the Yankees. I think that was his number.
So
usually higher numbers are, I believe, pitchers.
Yep, so this is a pitcher.
It
I bet you can guess who it is.
Okay, Bob Gibson.
There you
There you
go.
go.
I'm surprised because I thought, and I don't mind telling you, I faced Bob Gibson in a fantasy camp that
That's
Roy
really
Strickland
cool.
threw down in St. Louis. Yeah, struck out on 3 pitches. And as I walked to the dugout, several players said, "Don't worry, you're not the only guy that struck out against Bob Gibson."
Yeah.
So I can go around and say, "I struck out against Bob Gibson." And he was a very quiet guy. I'll tell you a quick story. We were in a fantasy camp at the Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. And Bob Gibson was in the car, and it was being driven by Joe Pepitone. Royce and I were in the car along with Cunningham, Joe Cunningham. I think it was Joe Cunningham. But at any rate, we were on the way, we were on a country road leading to the Field of Dreams, where they had about 2,000 fans waiting because the retired players that were going to be there included Bob Gibson, who by himself would be a big draw. But also a catcher for the Chicago Cubs, Randy Hundley. And let me see, Reggie Jackson, who was kind of a cocky, arrogant guy, unlike the other players. Mm-hmm. But at any rate, as we were pulling into the parking lot, well, even before we got there, Pepitone started honking the horn. Well, Gibson is a quiet, laid-back guy. Pepitone is one of these extroverts that loves the attention. He started honking the horn, and Gibson said, "Joe, don't draw attention to us." And as we pulled in the lot, they had a whole bunch of porta potties, and a guy was just going in one as we pulled in the lot, and the door closed. Pepitone drove the car over and bumped it with the car, and the porta, which could have been very dangerous. I mean, if he knocked it over, he sued Pepitone for the rest of his life. And the porta potty quivered, bounced back and forth, and the door swung open, and the guy was pulling his pants up, and the crowd laughed and so forth. But the guy was scared to death, and you wouldn't blame him. Now, everybody thought that was funny, but I thought it was, frankly speaking, stupid for that matter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have a great program today, and of course the red flags are out like they do when the tide is rolling in, and what do they call them, riptide? Is that what they worry about? Well, we're going to have a riptide possibly, and we'll give you the details coming from the National Weather Bureau and from Kyle Varnold for that matter. Kevin Sullivan will join us, and also State Representative from Morton, William Hauter, as well, with some important information. So we have a good program. And then I do want to say, before we get into the weather and the news, I hope all our listeners, as well as the people in our studio, express our prayers for Phil Salzer's wife. She underwent surgery yesterday, and Phil called me last night and gave me an update, and I suggested we pray for her, and he said, "Thank you. I hope that you will, for that matter." So we will keep Nancy Salzer in our prayers. In the meantime, let's bring you up to date with our news. Let's take a look at that nasty weather forecast that we have. This is a great time, however, after the storm passes, to consider buying your next home. With realtor Kathy Reynolds of Home Smart, she's eager to help you search the marketplace. Kathy experienced and has helped countless couples, families, and individuals find their next dream home. She's available to discuss the exciting opportunities at 309-696-2162. Weather-wise, we start with a notice that the flood warning has been reduced to a flood watch from 7 this morning to 10 this evening. The big weather news is we're going to get hit with showers and thunderstorms along with strong winds today and tonight. Rain total 1 to 2 inches, winds gusting to 37 miles per hour. The high close to 80 degrees, so even with the winds and the rain, we're going to get warm. The rain should end tonight around 8 to 9 p.m. Low overnight, 62. How about tomorrow? Sunny and breezy, 75. Friday, sunny and 78. And Saturday, sunny and 84. Right now we're at 57 degrees. That's your live weather picture, complete with the current temperature. Now the news with Terry Chamberlain and Dave Poehls. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son, a potential major national tragedy has been averted. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who have been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom to 50 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosives over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety.
FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included a 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons, and so far the 5 are not connected with any country in the world.
President Trump is in France, attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles speculating on what's in the Memorandum of Understanding. This led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. It appears people who have had nothing to do with the apparent end of the war with Iran want the president to sell the peace plan to them before Iran buys into it, with a scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland, set for this Friday.
Israel has a major stake in the agreement. Israeli officials are concerned for obvious reasons. They have daily red alerts sending people into shelter, sometimes multiple times during the day, because of drones and missiles launched by Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. Officials are cautiously optimistic the conflict will soon be over, but don't bank on it.
President Trump scored another political win, the latest in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Derek Dooley for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November.
Turning to local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night, shortly after 10:30 p.m., has left an 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are searching for the gunman. And those are our headlines for this half hour.
All right, thank you kindly. Now let's get some news from WCBU. You know, finding the right home healthcare team can be a challenge, but not if you choose Spoon River Home Health. That's the company founded by a couple of registered nurses, wonderful ladies, more than 30 years ago. If you or someone you know is in need of loving care in the home, the staff of Spoon River Home Health stands ready to meet that need. Their phone number 309-245-0723. Now we turn to WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. The National Weather Service is preparing for the possibility of 2 rounds of severe storms across central Illinois tomorrow, less than a week after 9 confirmed tornadoes tore through the region. The area is facing a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk of dangerous weather, with severe hazards from both waves. Alex Irwin is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
We're dealing with a pretty volatile environment, so both rounds of storms could bring damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes.
Irwin says the first round from mid-morning to early afternoon is likely to include heavy rainfall. That second round is expected to last from late afternoon through midnight. Governor J.B. Pritzker has announced an executive order to pause tax credits for data centers. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung, representing Greater Peoria, says she opposes the pause on data center tax credits because they were one way to ensure companies would work with local unions.
The tax credit was one way to really just try and ensure that if they were coming in, that they were putting in project labor agreements, using local union labor. Those, for me, were safeguards for local union jobs.
Chung says she's unsure if Pritzker has the authority to pause the credits on his own without approval from the legislature. 6 civilians and 1 firefighter-paramedic who helped save lives during fires in Washington late last month are getting recognition for their efforts. Washington Fire Chief Tyler G. presented the 7 honorees with a commemorative coin during this week's Washington City Council meeting.
This just exemplifies what Washington is. You know, in a time of need, all of our residents step up, and this is a perfect example of that.
The fires were May 30th at the chapter's assisted living facility and the following day at apartments on School Street. People under 21 in Illinois will no longer be allowed to buy intoxicating hemp products, effective immediately. Governor Pritzker signed a bill package aimed at regulating intoxicating hemp-derived products that includes synthetic cannabinoids like Delta-8, which will be reclassified as cannabis and regulated the same way. It'll also expand access to medical cannabis and allow drive-through and curbside pickup options at dispensaries. You can find more news at wcbu.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Now we have all the latest from the world of sports. Tyrus is here. Tyrus, what do you have this morning?
Thank you, Roger. Good morning. Let's start with Peoria sports news. The Peoria Chiefs are at 32-32. They play today at 12:05 p.m. versus the Dayton Dragons. The Cincinnati Reds affiliate. They play 5 more games against them at home. Actually, I know a couple of people are going to the Chiefs today too. So. MLB news: the Cubs at 38-36 lose to the Rockies 5-2. They look to win this series with a win tonight at 7:05 p.m. They got to get going, you know. Those Cubbies
Get going.
They're going,
You know,
all right.
at one point with runners on base, 14 times they only drove in a runner once out of 14 times, and you can't. Like last night, they had I think. 6 hits that produced 2 runs, and 7 hits that produced 2 runs. Cincinnati had 6 hits that produced 5 runs. So what's that tell you? They can't hit under pressure.
Yep, they weren't getting the hits.
And Colorado, last time I checked, was 18-19 games behind in the West Division of the National League.
They've been playing the Cubs good. Last week they.
Well, everybody plays the Cubs good. I mean, what do you mean by that, pal?
Yeah. Well, the old Cubbies, they got to get going.
Yeah.
I know they've been kind of inconsistent.
Yeah,
a little
and
bit.
you're excited. You're going. What did the Cardinals do? You're going to go to St. Louis today.
Yes. So the Cardinals at 40-31 beat the Padres last night 3-2. They play today at 1:15 to go for the sweep. So we'll see if I'll go and watch them sweep them. Hopefully. White Sox at 38-33 lost to the Yankees 12-2 yesterday. They look to tie the series up at 1 apiece tonight at 6:05 p.m.
Still first place, aren't they?
Which one's the White Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They got some work to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got clobbered by the Yankees, but you know what? They could salvage. Yeah, they could salvage it.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, they sure could. You know, I'm happy for the White Sox.
I
You
am
know,
too. It's great to see.
And they're gonna have more young players coming. They have the first overall pick, and I know who they're picking. So
Oh, do tell.
he'll be a pretty good one too. Eventually, it's I think it's Chowalski. Is his last Rock Chowalski? Yeah, he'll be pretty.
Take your word for it.
He'll be pretty good. Anyways,
That's a great name. Wolski.
the Phillies at 40-33 beat the Marlins yesterday 8-2 and look to sweep them today at 12:05 p.m. So there we go. There's some good Phillies news, and they're playing better. And then we'll do a little recap here. So your Stanley Cup final winner is the Carolina Hurricanes, as they closed it out, a little over the weekend last week. And then your finals champions are the New York Knicks, as they closed out the Spurs and closed out the series 4-1. And then the Chicago Bulls have finally gotten their head coach, Tiago Splitter, who had to
Yes.
really pull together those Portland Trailblazers last year because Chauncey Billups got arrested like 2 days into the season. So
One guy ruins the franchise?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had to, and then the
Are you
Blazers.
saying Portland won't be in the NBA anymore?
No. It's just he had to take over. He was just the assistant coach, and he was the interim head coach all last season, and got them to the playoffs finally. After I don't know, it was like 6 years or something like that. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think.
So what's your point?
Well, I think the Bulls probably got a pretty good one here. Maybe. Hopefully, he's the right coach for them. You know.
You know, the old saying goes, if you don't have the horses,
Yeah. Can't go
you don't have the team. That's an old saying in sports, and the Bulls don't have the horses. You know, the same way with the Cubs. You know, they've got an $8 million manager, and unfortunately a bullpen that can't get the job done. Even Palencia, their closer, looked terrible the other night. Couldn't get the ball over.
Daniel Palencia.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got to have the horses. You got to start trading.
do.
Look at what the White Sox have done. Last year they were, if not the worst, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Now they're leading the division.
Yep. They got
So
those
what'd
young
they
guys
do?
coming up.
They made good choices about ball players,
Yep.
and I believe that's the name of the game.
Well, I think the Trailblazers, I think they were comfortable because Tiago let the young guys play and develop and get better because, you know, they dealt with some injuries, so they had to rely on those young guys, and they finally got to the playoffs, and they lost to the Spurs in the playoffs, but,
Yeah.
you know,
And
but
the
they haven't
Spurs-
been there in forever, so.
Spurs lost to the Knicks. You know, it got to the, let's face it, we know that one of the top markets in the United States is New York City and on the West Coast, Los Angeles. But did any of you in this room and on this, listening to this program this morning, get tired of the people in New York
Oh, yeah.
over
100%.
and over talking on television? I don't care what program it was. Oh, the Knicks won, the Knicks won. You thought it was the coming of the second.
And I'm
The
so tired
second
of
coming.
Celebrity Row and all the celebrities that went there.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, whoopee. And that's it. Anything else in sports you want to cover?
The Cardinals' third overall
There you
prospect, Joshua Baez, last
He's
night he
exciting
hit.
to watch,
Yeah, he is. He hit 4 home runs yesterday in AAA.
You're kidding.
He went 4 for 5 with
4 home runs.
4 home
Down in
runs and
Better
Memphis.
call him up.
Yeah,
7
that's what I
RBIs.
think, yeah.
He might, but there's like just something little just holding him back. It's just like his whiff rate and like
So he strikes
swinging.
out.
He
But
does strike out.
Babe Ruth struck out a lot. Mickey
Yeah.
Mantle struck out a lot.
Yeah. So
Dave Kingman, a great home run hitter, struck out a lot.
Yep.
That's what big hitters do because they're swinging for the fences all the time, whereas so many other players.
oh yeah, no, he's
Like,
he's crushing it. He's leading AAA right now.
Yeah. How old a kid is he?
22.
Isn't that something? 22
He's
years.
got
of
23
age?
homers in AAA right now. So I mean, you might see him in center field here pretty soon, or left field, or wherever.
Well, he's going to be on.
He'll be on the team pretty
on the
soon,
team
yeah.
one way or the other. That's one thing about the Cardinals, and I'm an unusual Cub fan. If they can't win, I root for the Cardinals. Why wouldn't? They're essentially an Illinois team, even though they're in St. Louis, and they just the Cubs have no premier player other than Lance Armstrong, and he makes a lot of mistakes running on the other night.
Or in
He got a base
yeah.
hit. Okay, so he's on first base, and the fans are going wild. They're cheering. He takes his helmet off, waves to the fans. And the next pitch, he gets picked off first base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was that.
He didn't wave to the fans over that.
No, this was
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was right after he hit for the cycle.
Yes.
So he got the single and just
and gets picked off first base. Talk about embarrassing.
I don't know. He just likes to do that stuff. I mean, it's just like him not fielding a ground ball out in the outfield, and somebody gets an inside the park home run.
Yeah. He just. I don't think he's the sharpest pencil in the drawer. That may be a little bit. He got thrown out at third in a case where he didn't need to steal a third base because he's fast.
Yeah.
And so being on third base, the only advantage is if you make it,
You're 90 feet
score
away.
on a wild pitch.
Yeah.
And a ground ball. But so he was out, and it wasn't even close. So the kid makes some, and he is a kid. Do you know what his age?
He's still
24, 25, something like that.
He's still young.
He's a young kid and cannot leave his mother. Remember that song? Anything else in the world of sports, Tyrus?
No, sir.
That's it. So there you have everything up to
Travels
date
down to St. Louis.
this morning. Yeah.
After
He
the
and
game.
his family are headed to St. Louis. And I would say from Bloomington, isn't it still about 3-hour drive, as it is from Peoria?
Once you get parking. Oh,
And
that's counting.
you know, we used to go to a few Cardinal games. And the neat part was you pulled into the parking deck and you're right by the ballpark. Is that still true with the new
Yeah, there is one right there. Where you
Busch
can go
Stadium?
where you can go to one of the hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Behind
and that's
there.
right by.
Park at the
That's a pretty
St.
neat.
Louis Casino too. Just take the
Yep.
train right in.
That's a pretty
the
neat
train.
arrangement, isn't it?
Yep, you can do that.
Hey, I wanted to ask our distinguished panel. You know, we've had the Turkey Festival in Tremont and the Strawberry Festival in Elmwood. I was thinking, driving to work this morning, I thought, what's the next Peoria area community event? Is it the Cherry Festival in Washington, which you don't hear a whole lot about, but I think they do celebrate, and I love cherry pie.
Yeah.
But we don't know, do we? The panel is
We're stumped.
Yeah.
Yes, we.
And that does happen.
You know, it used to be. You remember back in the day, it was you get through these local festivals, and then it was Steamboat Days, and then you took a rest and you geared up for the Heart of Illinois Fair.
Yes, you're right. Good point. Well, we did recently, since I'm not a runner and even the thought of it puts me out of breath. We did have the Steamboat Festival,
yep.
did we? Not. But the Heart of Illinois Fair, that's all history, unfortunately.
Do they even do the festival, Steamboat Days anymore? I know they did the run. It was a
They did the run, but I didn't do
the festival.
Yeah, I
the
didn't
other
think
stuff,
so.
did they?
Yeah.
Nope.
You know,
Yeah.
was there a reason for it? Lack of sponsors? And
Probably a variety of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance perhaps.
I know that who actually owns, you might say, the Red, White, and Boom? Is it WMBD or is it the Chamber of Commerce? I know WMBD, you know, promotes it and
Right.
sells advertisers for it. So, but who actually pays for it? I know Methodist did for a number of years under Michael Bryant, the CEO and president of Methodist, but he's long gone. And I'm told that it cost something like $100,000 to put the fireworks show on.
It's not cheap.
And it's not inexpensive, but it's spectacular, and it's supposed to be this year even bigger and better. I don't know if you can get it bigger and better, but if you can, they certainly will do it. And
Sponsored by Choose Greater Peoria.
of what?
Choose Greater Peoria.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a
Sponsor, yeah.
city agency?
It is. It's a variety of community sponsors. So
Okay, that's what I was saying. I think it's in concert, if I can use that word,
I think so.
with the radio station because they are, and maybe they're just sponsors to get sponsors for that
looking
matter.
now, it's
But I
just-
wonder who actually hits various businesses to help pay the bill to get from, and are the fireworks on a boat in the Strait of Hormuz
yeah.
coming from?
It says Choose Greater
sh-
Peoria,
yeah.
sponsored by i3 Broadband.
Okay, they're one of the major sponsors. And i3 Broadband is no longer owned by the people who started the company. As I understand that it reached a certain point, and I3 Broadband was purchased by a national firm, for that matter. I do want to mention that if you're watching on YouTube, and I want to see if you can see somewhat, Teri's shirt, blouse is great, and our dear friend Kathy Reynolds has a number of paintings that are on display at First Methodist Church, and it includes
Tigers?
lions.
Yeah,
Now, those are leopards, right?
No, they're tigers.
Tigers, I'm sorry. What's the difference between a leopard and a tiger?
Leopards have spots, tigers have stripes.
Okay.
Tigers are bigger.
Then the ones she has are lions. They don't have any spots, right?
No, they have, the male has the big fancy mane.
Yes, yeah. And one of the paintings she had was a mother lion and the cubs, and it's beautiful, and it reminds me of your blouse there, which is very, very nice. We have coming up our quiz. Phil was not able to do it, so myself and I put together a quiz for our distinguished panel.
Is there a theme today?
Pardon?
Is there a theme for the quiz?
No, it's a cornucopia of different questions related mostly to TV shows, movies, celebrities, and so forth. That's coming up. In the meantime, we'll pause for this message.
Measure the value of education-based athletics? Well, the value is in what makes it invaluable. That's because school sports aren't just about winning. They're about learning and growing. School sports aren't just about gaining trophies and accolades. They're about learning life lessons, bringing a whole community together, developing character and integrity, having coaches who mentor you, and teammates who become lifelong friends. And you can't put a price on any of that. That's what makes education-based athletics invaluable. Of course, when you participate in school sports, you want to win and become a better athlete, but the purpose is so much greater. Becoming a better person. Support your local school sports programs. And if you have a student, encourage them to get involved.
This message presented by the NFHS and the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Good morning, everybody. As we mentioned, it's a Wednesday all day long, and the 17th of June. Let's get into the news and the weather, and we can tell you that our weather brought to you by Kyle Varnold, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle, works with multiple companies to find the right policy at the right price for individuals, families, and businesses. You can reach Kyle today, 309-682-0519, 682-0519. And I know he's outside right now looking at the sky and probably jogging, for that matter, since he's a big jogger. Well, I'll tell you that we'll begin with the flood warning that has been now reduced to a flood watch beginning at 7 this morning, about a half hour from now, to attend this evening the flood watch. Weather-wise, we're going to get hit with showers and thunderstorms along with strong winds today and tonight. They're talking about rain totaling up to 1 to 2 inches, winds gusting to 37 miles per hour. The high today, a warm 80 degrees. The rain should end this evening, the overnight low 62. Tomorrow it'll be sunny, a beautiful day tomorrow, and breezy, 75 the high. Friday sunny and 78, and Saturday we will be under sunny skies and a high of 84. Currently 57 degrees, and that's your live weather picture, complete with our current temperature. Now let's get into the news with Teri Chamberlain.
Thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son, a potential major national tragedy has been averted. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who have been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom 250 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosive over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety. FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included a 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons. So far, the 5 were not connected with any country in the world. President Trump is in France, attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles speculating on what's in the memorandum of understanding that has led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. A scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland is set for this Friday. President Trump scored another political win, the latest in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Derek Dooley for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November. In local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night, shortly after 10:30 p.m., has left the 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are searching for the gunman. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, that's what we have in the way of weather and news. A little reminder today, it's Wednesday, and Kevin Sullivan, as usual, will join us, Peoria defense attorney, and we'll talk to Kyle Varnold at some point this morning about the ominous weather outlook for Peoria and central Illinois, so stay tuned. In the meantime, because it is a Wednesday, we have our usual quiz of the morning. 6:32 is the time, 57 degrees currently the temperature. I think the panel is going to do okay on the quiz since I'm in charge instead of Phil. And we'll begin with a question, what was Vincent Price's category when he appeared on the $64,000 question? You remember that show, the $64,000? What was the category? Which will surprise you, I think, somewhat.
Art.
Art is right. Were you watching that?
No, but I know that
You knew that he was
Vincent Price is very
really?
in art, yes.
What famous comedian also was known for his art?
Red Skelton?
Jonathan Winters.
Oh.
I have interesting story. He did a lot of pencil drawings and weird ones. I don't mind that. I have 6 of them in my house. I remember asking him if I could buy one. He said, sure, and I said, what's the cost? He said, $1,000. But, Roger, since I know you, I'll give you a discount. It'll be $900. So I bought it. Do you know after that, over a period of, I don't know, a couple of years that we were friends, he would send me one out of the clear blue sky. And I remember John Beer say, my wife, Nancy, is a big fan of Jonathan Winters, and they're having an auction to raise money to fight cancer. And he said, do you think he would sell us one that we could use to raise money at an auction? So I asked Jonathan if he would do it. He said, I'll not only do it, I will give you one, because his wife was fighting breast cancer, Eileen, who eventually passed away as a result of it. And so he did a drawing, sent it to me, and gave it to John. I don't know how much money they raised, but he was big in art as well. All right, you got that very quickly. What pop festival launched Jimi Hendrix into the big time in 1967?
The Montrose Music Festival?
The what?
Montrose Music?
You're close.
Let's see.
Apparently it was in California.
Yeah, and I'm...
Name a city that you think might...
Monterey.
That is correct.
Monterey, that's what I was trying to think. Now.
Little
Montrose is the
little
jazz.
hesitancy in the
Well, I
voice
knew it was
there,
Monterey.
and you weren't real sure.
Yep.
All right,
okay.
here's a good question for you. What did Gerald Ford's WIN button stand for? W-I-N. And one of the words The I has to do with what some people are talking about now, although it's more a scare tactic, politically. But what do you think when it comes to campaigning? The letter I would stand for.
Independent?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Think finance.
Investment,
Okay.
Yeah, you're in the right track.
interest.
What do people worry about? Some people.
Inflation.
Inflation, yes.
Inflation now. I remember that. I remember that
You
one.
remember very good,
You
Dave.
said that. That was my.
Wonderful.
I remember seeing a picture of it.
What John Dean book did Taylor Branch completely rewrite after Dean's first draft? What was the name of the book? I think they made it into a movie, but I don't know. 2 words.
Is the one of them? I don't know. Darn
It
it.
starts with the letter B. And it's a condition that Helen Keller had.
Blind.
Blind ambition?
Yeah, blind ambition. Good.
go.
Well done.
Okay.
What part of the White House grounds was Tricia Dixon married in?
The Rose Garden.
The Rose Garden is correct. For $25 in the category. What song, their first hit, did the Lovin' Spoonful use as the title of their first album? And it had to do with a form of entertainment, as in David Copperfield.
Magic.
Magic?
Yes.
It's magic?
What is it?
It's magic?
Close. Well, you're close enough that I'll give it to you. Do you believe?
Do you believe in
Do you
magic?
believe
in
magic?
Very good,
Oh,
Tyrus.
yeah, I knew that.
Give that one to
Yeah.
Tyrus.
Yeah, I know the song. Yeah.
Here's an easy one for you to give you a chance to relax a little bit. What communist leader appeared on Meet the Press April 19th, 1959?
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro is
That's
correct.
correct, yeah.
What other Stanley Kubrick movie soundtrack was plainly visible in a record store in A Clockwork Orange?
What was the Space Odyssey?
That is correct.
2001: A
Space
Space
That's
Odyssey?
right. Good. Well, you guys are on fire this morning. Nice going. Who finished second in delegate votes to Hubert Humphrey at the 1968 Democratic National Convention?
McGovern?
No?
No.
Phil Salzer would get this one.
I have no idea. I was only three.
Eugene McCarthy.
Yeah, Eugene McCarthy is correct.
I
Another
had to
one.
think about my 68 convention here.
What surprise 1974 bestseller centered on a father and son odyssey through the U.S.?
Can you say that again?
Yes. This is a tough question, I think.
Okay.
What surprise 1974 bestseller centered on a father and son odyssey through the U.S.?
This is crazy, but Jonathan Livingston Seagull?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. On the Road.
Not that I'm an authority on anything, but I never heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I give up.
And it's very hard. The first word is the letter Z, and don't say Zach. Z, and it's 3 letters. Z blank blank.
Zip.
Zen?
What?
Zen?
Zen and this is a hard one. The art of motorcycle maintenance. You ever hear of that?
Zen and the
No.
Art of Motorcycle.
No, I didn't think so. So we'll throw that out. No points for that. Who was the first U.S. vice president to be pictured on a foreign stamp and Ecuadorian Sucre painting on May 15th, 1958? Oh, interesting answer. I just looked. I didn't know. What president?
President or vice president?
First U.S. vice president. Yes. 1958. So who would that have been?
What was it? Are they depicting the current, at that time, vice president?
I believe
Well, Nixon.
that is correct.
Yep.
Richard Nixon. And the next, what group introduced psychedelic soul? I've heard of who it is, but that's all. And I don't even know
Slow.
how to.
The Grateful Dead?
Well, that's a good
that was
guess.
a good guess.
Strawberry alarm clock.
I think,
That's one of them.
what was the nickname for Stallone?
Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah, very good.
There you
That's
go.
good. Boy, you guys are hotter than a firecracker. What town figured in the CBS half-hour Mike Wallace show, hosted show all around town? Read that over again, Roger. What town figured in CBS half-hour Mike Wallace hosted show all around town? What was the town? What was the city?
Washington, D.C.?
It's close.
Close to D.C. Is that geographically close?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Annapolis, Maryland.
No. I won't say it's close, but it's close. It's close to everything on the East Coast.
Boston.
No.
New
Not
York?
that close.
New York City. That is correct. All right. What actor appeared in both Rebel Without a Cause and Easy Rider?
James Dean.
Who?
James Dean.
No.
No.
Jack Nicholson?
No.
Oh, Peter Fonda.
No. One of my favorite actors. I think he was in Hoosier.
Oh, Jack.
Gene Hackman?
No.
Easy Rider. That's Jack Nicholson, isn't it?
No.
No. Okay.
It might have been, but
Okay, what two movies?
the two movies were Rebel Without a Cause and Easy Rider. Who was the best supporting actor in Hoosier?
Oh.
Bruce Dern.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it was Gene Hackman and Bruce Dern, wasn't it?
No.
Apparently
No,
not.
best supporting
I-
actor.
I think was he on? I think was he also on? I could be wrong. Maybe giving you wrong clues. In Gunsmoke?
Oh, Matt Dillon.
No. Well, I'll give it to you. Dennis Hopper.
Oh, Dennis Hopper.
Wasn't he in
He was an
Hoosier?
Easy Rider, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he was on Gunsmoke.
Well, who preceded?
Dennis Weaver.
Pardon?
Dennis Weaver.
Dennis Weaver. Yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
And the quizmaster missed that. I was trying to give you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
I remember McLeod. He rode the horse
Yes.
through the
What
streets.
state was Dwight Eisenhower buried in?
Gettysburg. His farm was in
A
Gettysburg.
state?
Well, what'd you say? The city or the state?
State.
Oh, Pennsylvania,
No.
Kansas.
Kansas,
Kansas is-
Abilene.
Yeah, Kansas. Yeah.
But does his library wasn't his farm in Gettysburg? Dwight
Could be, but
Eisenhower.
I thought
yeah.
his library in that because he was from Kansas.
Right,
basically,
Abilene,
wasn't he?
Kansas. But I thought
Well, he's buried in Kansas, which I guess figures since that's where he was born, wasn't he? What U.S. poet penned Stanton Street and Other Sorrows and Lonesome Cities? I'll repeat that. I didn't know he was a poet. What U.S. poet penned Stanton Street and Other Sorrows and Lonesome Cities?
Zane Grey.
Walt Whitman.
No.
Okay.
I don't think he's as known as a U.S. poet, but I'm reading off of the quiz.
Okay, give us
sheet.
the initials.
R.M.
Well, there's Robert Mitchum. But
All right, I'll help you out with a clue. What did they call some cars in the
Roadsters.
Yeah.
40s and 50s.
Roadsters, yeah.
Yeah. That they
Rod?
said were what?
Like Rod?
Yes.
Like Rod
Hot
Sullivan?
rods, yeah.
No.
No, right. RM, you said?
RM, oh, Rod. Yeah, I lost that.
I know you know Rod.
Rod, but we don't
This
know
Rod.
M, right? Rod.
Roddy
M.
McDowell?
No, close. It's
Oh, there
MC.
we go. Rod Mc. Can you give us the last three letters?
Rod McEwen?
Rod McEwen.
There
Is
it
he
is.
known as a U.S. poet?
He was
I-
kind of a poet. He was more of an author. I mean, he wrote some books.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I think that threw you off. Who did designer Bill Blass say was the only one who didn't care how the bosom looked? With her, it was the butt that counted. Well, but they said, error. What actress?
Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe is correct. What chubby comic had a 1956 hit with Chinese rock and egg roll? Not one of my favorite comics.
Buddy Hackett?
Buddy Hackett is correct. Did you like Buddy
I
Hackett?
did.
Okay.
I liked him. He was in The Love Bug when I was a
Yes.
kid. He was great in those.
Yep.
Who portrayed the impeccable Thurston Howe III in
Oh.
Gilligan's Island?
Oh.
Let's see if Tyrus can get it.
Oh.
Tyrus?
I don't know if I'll get there, but
Okay.
wow. You know what? It's the funny thing is it popped up all the time. Every time you watch a show, there it was,
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
of who played him. Oh my
And he
gosh.
was well known for Mr. Magoo voice.
Yeah,
voice
yeah, 'cause I could-
characterization.
that's
Who
what I'm
is
thinking.
that?
Okay, just
Yeah, I
one
can't look it
initial.
up.
Was it James? Yeah, first initial, just that's all. Or
Jay.
J.
It's James.
James.
Jim.
Jim. Backus. Jim Backus.
Jim Backus
That's
is
it.
correct.
Oh,
Nice
my
to
I
know.
knew it,
goodness.
but I just couldn't quite get there.
How old was Elvis Presley when he died?
43,
40.
I think. Something like that. Am I close?
What'd you say?
I said
say there-
43. Am I
Oh,
close?
you're very close.
42.
45,
42.
42.
42.
Way too
42.
young.
Yeah.
What group's 1972 North American tour was covered by writers Truman Capote and Terry Southern?
The 42
What
year
group?
old.
1972 North American tour.
The Who?
The Who is incorrect.
The Stones.
The Rolling Stones is correct.
There you go. It had to be one of the big.
Which way does camels camel face?
Oh.
That's a great question.
West.
He faces the left.
The left is correct.
What was the question?
The cigarettes.
Which
have
way did the
Oh,
which
gotcha.
which one was the camel looking?
Gotcha.
And how many humps did it have? What TV show theme lyrics did Little Roger? Hey, my name's and the Goosebumps parody to Stairway to Heaven, eliciting Led Zeppelin's anger, wrath. He was unhappy of it with the show. What were the lyrics? What was the show's lyrics?
I'm not sure.
It's kind of a confusing question.
It is because I'm trying to follow it. Yeah. What's the show?
The show had a previous part of an earlier answer. When you mentioned somebody earlier, he was on what show?
I don't.
Gilligan's Island wasn't
Jim Backus.
wasn't Backus on?
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, he was on
So the
Gilligan's
answer is
Island.
Gilligan's.
Okay.
All right. Well, you didn't get that one. What dramatic showcase produced No Time for Sergeants before it became a play and a movie?
The Westinghouse.
No, it was a big corporation company sponsor.
Yeah, it's,
Big,
is it somebody's
big
playhouse.
The what?
GE was it General Electric?
No,
Somebody's playhouse.
U.S.
U.S. Steel.
Steel Hour. I don't remember that. Do you remember that show?
Nope.
Just vaguely.
Who portrayed the beautiful Linda Rogo, Ernie Borgnine's wife, in the Poseidon Adventure? Ooh, I remember that.
Shelley Winters.
No, that's what I thought. That's what I would have guessed that. But she was a sex bomb. And her first and last name started with the letter S.
First and last name.
Sally.
Sally Struthers.
What was that? No,
Sally
no.
Struthers.
That was way before her time. I don't think she's...
I should think.
Stella Stevens?
Stella Stevens is good.
okay.
Nice going, Terry.
Okay.
What was the name of the last lunar module to land on the moon?
What number was it?
The
Name of it.
Oh, the name of it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
The Eagle?
When you're facing a problem, what's the word for it?
Dilemma.
Dilemma?
Here's the answer.
Well, you know what? We're going to pause because our weather guy is going to bring us up to date. What we're
or an
facing.
answer.
Again, another exclusive on our program. Mr. Weather, Kyle Varnold. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How is the Wednesday crew?
Well, we're
doing well. How are
excited,
you?
and we're nervous about the storm. Help us know what's going to happen.
Lots of hype, as we see. They're expecting big things. I mean, the parameters are certainly in place. Right now, as far as this meteorologist is concerned, I think we're like the beginning, the starting line for the big tornadic supercell storms. And then the points I'm looking at is to the east of the Peoria metro area as those storms progress to the east and northeast once they form. Now, we got a couple of waves to go through before we get there. We have some severe thunderstorms, some really impactful severe thunderstorms coming out of Iowa as we speak. And those will be getting to our area after about 8:30 this morning. So by the time you guys are done with the show, and by the time I call at 8:45, you'll be hearing thunder outside likely, and then some pretty heavy rainfall moving into the area, no doubt. Again, and I definitely recommend having an umbrella with you today because I think you're going to need it today.
Roger's going to escort us all to our cars, is what he...
Absolutely, as you should. Yeah. But no, and then, so the first wave comes through between, I'd say, 8 and 10, 11 o'clock. We are looking at maybe a second wave forming. So that would be probably between, I'd say, 12 and 1:30. We'll have to wait and see how quick the first wave moves out. We could see on the tail end of the first wave a redevelopment, so that would be the second wave potentially. And that wave actually could produce our first supercell. Models are hitting at, and the hautographs have been hitting at, maybe a supercell storm developing over Fulton County right around the 12 o'clock, 12:15 time frame, and then moving east quite quickly. And that could drop the first tornado of the day. So that'll come across Tazewell County and then move off into McLean County. But again, these are just models. This is forecast guidance. This isn't, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is just what the indicators are showing. And then the main line of storms, the big one, the ones that once they develop in about 20, 30 minutes time, they'll be dropping tornadoes. Those will be between 3 and 5 for the Peoria metro area. Again, right now, based off of where the synoptic setup, I think Peoria, the Illinois River Valley, is the starting point, and the storms develop, much kind of similar to last Thursday, where we saw the initial supercells develop just over Peoria, essentially, and to the north of Peoria. And then they went off and touched down a pretty impressive EF3 near Washburn, just north of Washburn. And then that same cell produced that EF3, very devastating EF3 up at Streeter, Illinois. And then we also saw the Morton tornado, which came off the line itself, so that's what we call QLCS spin-up. Very weak tornadoes. They form along the leading edge of the outflow, the storm front, essentially. And very weak rotation, don't last long, don't do much damage except park trees where they shouldn't be parked. But yeah.
Yeah, and it'll continue.
That's the setup.
it'll continue to warm up. Are we still going to reach around 80 degrees today?
That'll be difficult. Honest to God, that'll be very difficult because of the wave of storms coming in, the moisture coming in, the rain coming in. I think the rain-cooled air keeps us from hitting 80 today. If we ever do hit that 80-degree mark, and that'll be really interesting to see, it'll be between that 1:30 to 3:30 time frame where finally the warm fronts move north, the outflow boundaries pretty much over us, and it'll be much similar to last Thursday where it really warmed up in the afternoon after that wave of storms finally exited the area, and then storms explode like powder kegs. I mean, they blow up in veracity and height and severity for the most part.
Yeah. Kyle, are there indicators in the sky, since this is going to be daylight and not at night, and we have a better eyeball of what the sky looks like? Are there colors that we should be concerned about? I've heard stories that if you see green in the clouds or a tint of green and so forth, that's not a good sign. Is that true? Is that a myth?
Well, green is indicative of a HP cell, a high precipitation cell. So it's definitely one of the stronger parts of the storm. The green sky has kind of been dismissed over the years because green, it's an ominous color, obviously, when you look at the storm. But what it indicates as far as meteorologically is the high precipitation part of the storm cell. So usually when you see green, what follows after that is hail or very, very heavy rainfall.
Yeah. The one thing we do look for when we look at the skies, what appears to be maybe a funnel cloud or
that's
merging of two systems.
Yeah, and just the thing, that'll be what you always generally look for is the clouds going in different directions. So you have the lower clouds towards the surface, they moving from north to south, and then you see the higher clouds moving from west to east. Okay, now you have that contracting direction in the mid and upper levels. And now you'll get that rotation, those little vortexes start to spin up, and really impressive wind shear. About 80 to 100 knots in the mid-levels are the winds today, so especially later today. So, I mean, it's really quite the setup here as we are in the last week of spring. The components of this low pressure, the storm system, are that of what we generally see in the winter months. Itself, the core itself, cyclogenesis, but you know, it's June and we have warmer temps and we have lots of, humidity feeling in. So it's really the best type of setup for tornadoes and for really strong, severe storms, especially damaging winds. I can't rule that out. Everyone's focused on tornadoes. Again, we're the starting point is how I see it for the tornadoes today. It's the damaging winds, 70, 80 mile an hour winds, which will be very widespread as opposed to tornadoes, which we might see 2 or 3 long life tornadoes in this storm system over a 42 county area. And then those storms march off to the east quite rapidly. I think the area of most concern, if you're worried about tornadoes today, is I'd say probably along I-55 and to the east, so south of I-80 and north of 74.
North of 74. And would that also apply to Tazewell County?
Well, Tazewell County, again, this is going to be kind of the starting point. And keep in mind, we talked about 5 minutes ago, there's indicators of a supercell with that second wave. So before the big line forms around the 1 o'clock time frame, so those initial supercells are the ones where Tazewell County, Peoria County, Marshall County, Woodford County, Fulton County, that's they're not in the clear for sure, but they will be in the clear. I think after 4 or 5 o'clock, I think this whole event is out of the Peoria metro area by 5 p.m. tonight.
Okay. I know you're a betting man and may be asking too much, but what are the odds? What's the percentage of a potential tornado?
For the Peoria metro? Or for
Yes.
the listening area?
Yeah.
Today?
Yes.
Within how many miles? I need some parameters here.
Well, I don't care, to tell you the truth. I just want to know whether or
Well, I
not you
do.
think someone in some area in central Illinois, the odds of tornado are better than others. I
If
don't
we're
know.
talking about central Illinois in general,
Yes.
I'd say 85% of a tornado.
Really?
If we're talking about Peoria Metro, so within the Peoria and its suburbs, I'd say 25-30%.
Okay, so let's say that I need to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, of course.
When do I not go? Tell me
so I
when I
can
should
go-
hunker down in my little cabin on the alfalfa field.
Okay, that's interesting. I would say between 12 and 5. Don't go out. Don't go to the grocery store. You could get caught in something. You know,
Okay.
it's not even a tornado. It's a heavy rain.
Yeah.
I think we'll see heavy rain this morning. So honestly, don't go to the grocery store today would be the best answer.
Okay, I think that's a good answer. So
Yeah.
I
interesting
need to
setup,
lose
people.
weight anyway, so I just won't
Roger,
eat.
I have a breakfast bar. It'll tide you through till tomorrow, okay?
You got it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
You're set. You're
That's
set for
it.
24 hours.
Well, summing up, in one or two sentences, what do you want to tell our listeners weather-wise?
In one or two sentences. Thank you, Roger.
Or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
Okay. You'll have 2 or 3 waves today. The first one will be impactful storms, maybe some hail, wind, lots of rain. The midday wave, if it comes to fruition, will be a much stronger storm, could drop the first tornado. The last wave between 3 and 5 p.m. is the ones where it could be a very catastrophic situation. So don't go out between 3 and 5. And if I think tornado watches get issued probably by 2 o'clock, if not a little bit earlier for our area, could be a PDS tornado watch. If that's the case, the Weather Service sees this as a potentially dangerous situation, and just don't go out. Just, have a basement nearby, have a storm shelter, have a plan between 3 and 5 today, and you stay alive.
Yeah. Well, that's good advice. As always, thanks for keeping us up to date. We'll talk again at 8:45 this morning. In the
8:45.
meantime, stay inside. Don't go shopping at all today in Washington.
Well, you go shopping this morning. Just take an umbrella.
Okay.
This morning.
All right.
Great.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather, with an up-to-date live report on weather, and a 4-year college-educated meteorologist. He knows what he's talking about, so when you hear a forecast from Mr. Varnold, you can bank on it, one way or the other. News, weather, and sports coming up on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and hallelujah, now also today on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Wednesday morning with a check of the weather. Again, after getting all these specific details from Kyle Varnold, this portion of our program brought to you by Matt Wall, he's CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman and Wall. You can learn more about such things as estate and trust tax planning, employee benefits, and more, all financial from Matt, and you can reach Matt today at 309-692-4030. That's 692-4030. That flood warning has been reduced to a flood watch, beginning right now, as a matter of fact, until 10 this evening. The big weather news, as you just heard from Kyle Varnold, we're going to get hit with showers and thunderstorms with potential for tornadoes. Strong winds today and tonight, rain totaling 1 to 2 inches, and winds gusting to you-know-what. And he doesn't think we're going to get anywhere close to 80 degrees, so we will see. The rain should end tonight, and an overnight low 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy, 75. Friday, sunny and 78. Saturday, sunny and 84. Our current temperature is 60 degrees, and that's your live weather report with the current temperature. Now, we turn to the news with Teri Chamberlain and Dave Poehls. Good morning, folks.
Good morning. Thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son, a potential major national tragedy has been averted. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who have been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom 250 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosive over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety.
FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included a 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons. So far, the 5 are not connected with any other country in the world.
President Trump is in France attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles speculating on what's in the Memorandum of Understanding. This led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. It appears people who have nothing to do with the apparent end of the war with Iran want the president to sell the peace plan to them before Iran buys into it, with a scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland, set for this Friday.
Israel has a major stake in the agreement. Israeli officials are concerned for obvious reasons. They have daily red alerts sending people into shelters, sometimes multiple times during the day, because of drones and missiles launched by Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. Officials are cautiously optimistic that the conflict will soon be over, but don't bank on it.
President Trump scored another political win, the latest in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Derek Dooley for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November.
And in local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night, shortly after 10:30 p.m., has left the 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are still searching for the gunman. And those are our headlines for this half hour.
And you got it. And now this portion of our news brought to you by Steve Sink. He's a certified business intermediary with PHX affiliates. Steve has been a business broker for over 20 years and sold businesses from $25,000 to $45 million. And by the way, he specializes in business valuations. You get more information by calling Steve. He's available at 309-696-8508. That number again, 696-8508. Now more news from our friends at WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. The National Weather Service is preparing for the possibility of 2 rounds of severe storms across central Illinois tomorrow, less than a week after 9 confirmed tornadoes tore through the region. The area is facing a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk of dangerous weather, with severe hazards from both waves. Alex Irwin is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
We're dealing with a pretty volatile environment, so both rounds of storms could bring damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes.
Irwin says the first round from mid-morning to early afternoon is likely to include heavy rainfall. That second round is expected to last from late afternoon through midnight. Governor J.B. Pritzker has announced an executive order to pause tax credits for data centers. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung, representing Greater Peoria, says she opposes the pause on data center tax credits because they were one way to ensure companies would work with local unions.
The tax credit was one way to really just try and ensure that if they were coming in, that they were putting in project labor agreements, using local union labor. Those, for me, were safeguards for local union jobs.
Chung says she's unsure if Pritzker has the authority to pause the credits on his own without approval from the legislature. 6 civilians and 1 firefighter-paramedic who helped save lives during fires in Washington late last month are getting recognition for their efforts. Washington Fire Chief Tyler G. presented the 7 honorees with a commemorative coin during this week's Washington City Council meeting.
This just exemplifies what Washington is. You know, in a time of need, all of our residents step up, and this is a perfect example of that.
The fires were May 30th at the chapter's assisted living facility and the following day at apartments on School Street. People under 21 in Illinois will no longer be allowed to buy intoxicating hemp products, effective immediately. Governor Pritzker signed a bill package aimed at regulating intoxicating hemp-derived products that includes synthetic cannabinoids like Delta-8, which will be reclassified as cannabis and regulated the same way. It'll also expand access to medical cannabis and allow drive-through and curbside pickup options at dispensaries. You can find more news at wcbu.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Well, the computer quit on me, so I will say, here's sports. With Tyrus.
Good morning. Thank you. Let's start with the Peoria Chiefs news here. So the Peoria Chiefs sit at 32-32. They play today at 12:05 p.m. versus the Dayton Dragons, which is the Cincinnati Reds affiliate. They play 5 more games against them at home. There's a lot of people I know that are going to this game today. We'll see what happens there with all the rain and the weather.
I don't know if that game's going to be on.
It probably won't happen.
Yeah, I don't think so because they talked about, 8 to 10? And I'm not too sure. And that's the first wave, and there's going to be a second wave. So
might not happen.
That might not happen. And the sooner they announce what they're going to do, the better it'll be for fans.
That's true. MLB news: the Cubs at 38-36 lose to the Rockies at 5-2. They look to win the series with a win tonight at 7:05 p.m. They gotta get going. Those Cubbies. The Cardinals 40-31 beat the Padres 3-2 last night. They play today at 1:15. I'm also going to mention number 3 overall prospect Joshua Baez went 4 for 5 yesterday with 4 homers and 7 RBIs. Do
you know what college he went to? I assume he's a college kid. No, he is.
No,
he didn't go to college?
No, we drafted him at he was 18 or 19.
Wow.
So he's just been in the minors developing.
Why go to college and you can make millions of dollars playing professional baseball?
Yep. The White Sox at 38-33 lost to the Yankees 12-2 yesterday. They look to tie up the series tonight at 6:05 p.m. The Phillies at 40-33 beat the Marlins yesterday 8-2. Look to sweep them tonight, today at 12:05 p.m. So there you go, Mr. Phil. And then we'll recap the finals. So the Stanley Cup champions are your Carolina Hurricanes. And your NBA Finals champions are the New York Knicks. So I guess those fans can still tear down New York if they're planning on doing that.
Since I'm not a Knicks fan, I thought maybe I'd set fire to some cars in downtown Peoria or at a used car lot to celebrate. I mean, do they ever arrest these kids, these clowns?
I don't. It's crazy.
Is it all part? I'll bet a lot of downtown businesses in New York City have insurance coverage and probably cost them an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Because they're in a high-risk area.
Right. Yeah. Well, and they were.
Those things, like in Chicago, the teen takeovers.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, and if you were walking around downtown over there in a Spurs.
I wouldn't be walking around downtown in New York City.
No,
not at night. That's for sure.
Especially with a Spurs jersey on.
Yeah. That's just suicidal.
Yeah, they were just pointing them out, and they're like, "Hey guys, there's a Spurs fan over there."
Beat the crap out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was crazy.
I love America.
Oh yeah, we're doing pretty wonderful right now. WNBA news: the Indiana Fever are 9-5. They're on a 4-game win streak, and they beat the Toronto Tempo 113-91. They play the Atlanta Dream tomorrow at 6:30. The Chicago Sky at 4-9 play tonight at 7 p.m. The Chicago Bulls have finally gotten their new head coach, former player and NBA champion Thiago Splitter, who dealt with a lot of adversity in his lone season with the Blazers, taking over for arrested and fired head coach Chauncey Phillips 2 days into the start of the season.
Good guy.
Yeah. So they lost their first game, so then he took them to a 42-39 record, and then they had a couple key injuries to some point guards, and you know they were a young team, and it was their first playoff appearance in 5 years, is what he led them to. So he just band the guys together, and
There you go.
that's our sports.
That's our sports, and now our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Greyhounds are well known for their tremendous racing speed. They are also very popular pets. Ask almost anyone who has adopted a retired greyhound and they will tell you that all the dog really wants to do is relax now and be loved. Greyhounds are gentle, affectionate, and fairly laid-back dogs that make excellent house pets. Some may still have the desire to chase small critters, but not all do, and the foster parent will be helpful in pointing out the more laid-back dogs. Most get along very well with children because of their tolerant and friendly nature. Because they are being adopted as adults, most will walk away from a child rather than growl or snap if they are bothered. No corn, wheat, or wheat flour in it. Also, a dog's food containing meat byproducts should be avoided, as these byproducts are ground-up remains of animals like beaks and feet. Like other dogs, they should not have table scraps either. After years of racing, they just want to be with you, laying at your feet or on your lap. They are a very clean dog, and their short, tight coat doesn't require brushing or haircuts or frequent bathing. This can be a plus for a very busy family. They make good babysitters, too. They like to watch the little ones and be near them constantly. So the next time you think about adopting a rescued animal, please look into a greyhound. They might just suit your busy lifestyle the best. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Louis Linder. And you know, that reminds me, with all this spooky weather, I have a dog, and you have how many cats now, Terry?
Down to 2.
Down to 2. They know what's going on, don't they? They seem to have a weather. Do you have a pet?
I do.
Well, Dave?
I do. A boxer named Charlie May.
Yeah.
She,
and you used to at your house. Did you or your brother have a pet at all, Tyrus?
Yeah, we still got one.
Okay. But isn't it true that, like, I have a Scottish Terrier, and he's independent as all get out. He does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, regardless of what I say. Yeah. And a good example is that I do put him on a leash so that he can run around in the backyard up to a certain limit and so forth. But at any rate, I'll call him over to the door, and I'll open the patio door to let him outside. And he will stick his head out when it's bad weather. And then he will turn around and look at me and say, "Are you nuts? You think I want to go outside?" And no matter what I say, he knows that it's raining and the wind is blowing, and he wants no part of it. and they have that, I guess, built-in antenna. And cats are even more squeamish about it, are they not, Terry?
Not necessarily. Now, I had one cat that did not like thunderstorms, and she truly, she'd slink into my lap, and she wanted to be held during a thunderstorm.
Absolutely.
The two I have now,
Could care less.
pretty much, unless there's been, when all of a sudden you get that great big crack of thunder.
Yeah.
I have seen them jump
Yeah.
when that happens, and they kind
Well,
of.
so do you.
Yeah, I do too. And so all three of us are like, "Whoa, what was that?" But,
Holy
Growing
cow.
up, we had a collie, and she was like literally would go berserk in thunderstorms and jump into my bed. And oh, this is a one-dog night, I guess. So yeah, because I mean it was just like wow, and she was a big dog too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Is it easy to put them out, put him out or her out, or whatever gender it is?
no,
Say,
she-
no way am I
she
going
looks
to
at
go
it and
out.
says, yeah, no. I mean, we're not doing this. So-
Tyrus, what kind of dog?
She said, and she's my old. She looks at. We are not amused.
Yeah.
Yes.
What kind of dog do you have?
So Mako, she's a Brittany.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful dogs.
So
All those are. Yeah.
she does not care what's
One
going
way or
on.
the other.
No, she does not care what's going on outside. She's like, "Oh, take me out." I'm like, "No, it's storming outside. We're not we're not going out right now."
I've seen that evidence of my dog not going out, and 5 minutes later I see where he got nervous and decided to make a deposit, shall we say. And, hey, thanks, pal.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think I am anyway? You're a butler? And the answer is yes.
course.
Well, of course, for that matter. It is, and the same holds true in the winter. You know, when you have low temperatures and it's cold outside, my dog will look around and say, do I have to go outside? And I almost have to go with him to get him to go outside.
We have a Scottish Terrier. Does he put his kilt on when he goes out? No. No. Okay. Just wondering.
All I can tell you, this,
the bagpipes.
I've had,
Bagpipes. Yeah.
I've had 4 Scottish Terriers, and this one is in serious need of psychotherapy. And I do believe dogs have personalities and
Sure do.
oh, they all do.
Yes.
tendencies to be rebellious and do what they want to do. I had for this dog, I had a trainer, and the trainer flunked. I said, I think you're done, and she said, well, keep working with him. And she went out the door with a check. It is, but I wouldn't. You know, there are people, and we've talked to some, and I won't mention on this program, who had dogs and don't have them anymore as they've gotten older, because that's one more, I don't think it's one more mouth to feed, but it's one more item that you have to take into consideration.
Responsibility.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
Like if you're going to spend the night out of town or a weekend or whatever, what do you do with the dog? Well, you got to put him in a kennel or take him to someone and say, I'll watch your dog. So
Yeah.
they can be a pain in the butt. But at my age now, I don't do traveling anymore. I did plenty of traveling in my lifetime, which, by the way, is an admonition for young people. Travel now, because there will be a time when, A, you won't want to travel, and B, you won't want to travel.
Yep. You're right.
A and B from that standpoint. However, having a pet in the house, whether it's a cat or a dog or an elephant, it
elephant is
is
in the room.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't talk about it.
Where does the elephant sleep? Wherever he wants to.
Yes. Does he bring his trunk?
Yeah,
Goes in?
well, he always has his trunk with him.
Yeah, I was going to say. There we go.
Of all the animals, there are two of my favorites. I'll hear what your favorites are. One on the little side is a penguin. I've always loved penguins. Are so human acting
Yes.
that they're just adorable.
And they're well dressed.
And they're well dressed all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
They never know when they're going to be invited to a wedding.
Every outing.
And so they have a tuxedo ready to go. And the other is an elephant. I just think elephants are adorable. I think for many, many years they were terribly abused by some.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
country
100%.
for that matter.
Plus
And they
they're-
work for peanuts.
They're smart. They're smart too.
They are
Boy,
smart.
you're on a roll this morning. They do work for peanuts, aren't they? And you know, there must be a connection there because I love peanuts, and maybe the Monroe family is some way related to the elephant family. You remember the song "Elephants Walk"?
Yeah.
It used to be instrumental. As
The baby elephant walk.
Yeah.
Walk. I love that.
Who was it? Hugo Winterhalter or who played?
I think it was Henry Mancini.
Okay.
It was Henry Mancini.
Yeah.
That's right.
That sounds.
He did for the show
sounds right.
Victoria, if I'm not mistaken.
You're
love
right.
that song.
Henry Mancini.
And at any rate, what are your two favorite animals, Dave?
Well, penguins.
Excluding,
It's funny you said that.
excluding your
Yeah, all my boxers.
the dogs
love
and
boxers.
cats.
But that is the number one, penguins. I've got little penguin things in my dresser, and I just always have loved, because I walk like one. I think it would be one. I'm not very well dressed, though. So, yeah. And I like giraffes, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
little giraffe.
They're mysterious.
That could be a stretch.
Well done. Well done.
Woo.
Maybe
So, okay, giraffes and
giraffes and penguins.
what was? How about a little fella or any?
Well,
Well, I
mean,
would say the
I like
penguins.
cats, penguins, giraffes. I do like cats and dogs. I like them both.
The panda.
Panda. Who wouldn't like a panda? Pandas are great.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
fun to watch.
The koala.
Koala.
That'll
Love a
bite
koala.
your that'll
How
bite
about a
your nose
meerkat?
off.
What's your favorite two animals, Tyrus?
Oh man, that's tough. Well, I would say dogs. We've always had dogs. So, second one, I just like animals really. So
Yeah.
like for me,
You don't care which one.
yeah.
Terry, how about you?
Snow leopards.
Oh yeah,
choice.
that's cool.
And I'd have to say lions,
Lions.
Yeah.
because I'm a Leo,
Tigers
so I do.
and bears.
But just the
don't
big
mind.
cats. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by gorillas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they
Gorillas, chimps,
you know,
monkeys.
I could see where I could have an elephant in the backyard and maybe a penguin.
You can have a chimp.
The gorilla's another story. And, you know, you remember that story of the kid that fell in, didn't fall in, he got in. And where the parents were, I don't know, they should put them in the zoo,
Yep.
the mental zoo. And they wound up shooting the
They
Gorilla.
killed the gorilla.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a couple of weeks
Couldn't
ago.
they-
Was the anniversary.
Couldn't they have
To me,
mounted him?
they could have
That's
tranquilized him.
Harambe.
Yeah.
You're talking about Harambe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they did not have to do that.
No, they
I
didn't.
agree. Yeah.
And
Because-
you could tell that the gorilla. What's the difference between a gorilla and an ape?
Oh, the ape is a lot smaller.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Gorillas are larger, yeah.
Oh, the gorillas are way larger, but the ape,
But it was a gorilla, it wasn't an ape,
No,
right?
it was the
he was a gorilla. But apes, you can have an ape as a pet, really. You really could. But
Well, Clint Eastwood did, didn't he?
Yeah, they're really cool.
In that
Oh, yeah.
movie.
Yeah, what movie was
I mean,
It was
that?
an orangutan.
Every which way.
Yeah.
It was an orangutan.
Orangutan.
wasn't
I
it?
mean,
They
Michael
collide.
Jackson had one too.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. That's right.
No
Bubbles the
kidding.
chimp.
Yeah. Chimpy.
Well, you know, when you watch them, it's kind of
Yeah.
it's similar to watching people at a Walmart.
And that's where the show.
We went south.
That's not a word from our advertiser.
Yeah. They look, never done. Roger, that's far enough. You need to go. Hey, we're going to be joined by, as usual, Kevin Sullivan. So let's get into a check of the news and the weather as we do every morning. And our news this morning brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President Financial Advisor. Bob is with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, Bob Manning is available. Here's his phone number, 309-671-4653. That's 671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now here's Terry.
Thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son, a potential major national tragedy has been averted. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who've been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom 250 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosives over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety. FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included a 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons. So far, the 5 were not connected with any country in the world. President Trump is in France, attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles speculating on what's in the Memorandum of Understanding that has led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. A scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland is set for this Friday. President Trump scored another political win, the latest in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Jerry Dooley for the Republican nomination for the United States Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November. In local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night, shortly after 10:30, has left the 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are searching for the gunman. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, we have a check of the weather coming up, brought to you by your hometown community banks, Division of Morton Community Bank, with 50 branches throughout Central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC. What do we have for weather, Dave?
Well, that flood warning's been reduced to a flood watch from 7 this morning to 10 this evening. However, the big weather news is where we're going to get hit with showers and thunderstorms along with some strong winds today and tonight. As we heard earlier from our weather expert, Kyle Varno, looks to be 2 waves, and we'll hear more from him later. So today's definitely a day to take the umbrella or stay inside. Rain total of 1 to 2 inches, winds gusting to 37 miles an hour. Highs getting into the mid-70s today with that rain-cooled atmosphere. Rain should end tonight as those storms exit between 8 to 9 p.m. and low getting down to 62 degrees. And then tomorrow, nice little recovery day, mostly sunny and breezy, a high of 75. Very pleasant looking day tomorrow. Friday, pleasant continues, sunny and 78. And currently we're looking at 61 degrees.
61 degrees, and he didn't think we were going to reach 80. And that sounds like good news. We don't need both the heat and humidity. Anyway, it's Wednesday morning, and our barrister is here, Kevin Sullivan. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Roger.
Looking like $1 million this morning. So one would assume you're going to be in court.
I'm going to be in Peoria and Eureka today.
Both places, huh? Mm-hmm. You get frequent flyer mileage in your car?
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I am getting excited. The price of fuel's going down.
Yes, that is good news. No question. You know, I have people every now and then say, hey, I listened to Kevin Sullivan. Ask him this or ask him that and so forth. And I don't carry a note and paper with me, but one of the things that someone said, ask him why it seems like in high-profile cases like Luigi Mangione, that it goes on and on. Why does it take so long to have a trial for people of notoriety in the country, if not in the world? It takes so long to bring them to trial.
You know, I think in Mangione's situation, it seems to me that the court, the judge is who's dragging his feet on this thing, because there was, for example, there was a motion to suppress evidence that was filed towards the end of last year. They had a hearing on it in January, and the judge says, I'll give you a ruling in May. You know, I'm sorry, but, you know, I mean, around here, the judge would say, okay, you had your hearing in January, I'll have a decision made in a week, you know, and in the meantime, we're going to set a court review date to keep this case moving. So I think sometimes it's the court prolonging things, and why, I don't know. You know, as everybody is probably aware, all defendants have a right to a speedy trial, and there's two types of speedy trials. One is it just says speedy, a prompt trial under the Constitution, but the statutes in Illinois provide you have 120 days to get somebody to trial if they're in custody. And, you know, now not everybody exercises their right to a speedy trial. I'm not an advocate to try to rush things to trial because it takes time to prepare. You got to have your investigation done. You got to review the evidence. You got to interview witnesses and a lot of prep time. But there are cases that could get to trial that are, you know, relatively simple or at least not complicated fact patterns, so to speak.
You know, one of the things that I saw this morning on Fox News is that in that trial there was a clerical error, and it had to do with filing papers to transfer Mangione from the cell to the courtroom. And apparently they didn't do it in writing for the defense attorney. And the host on Fox News says, does that make it suspect as to the quality of the work of the prosecutors? I thought, are you going a little overboard over a clerical error, questioning whether that means the prosecutors aren't doing a good job?
Yeah, that's not the prosecutor's fault. That would be either the court or the people at the detention facility, because, you know, I can just use local experience. Normally what happens is, let's say so-and-so appears in court, and they're going to have another hearing, let's say, in about a week. Well, there's a court order that's done, and the jailers who are in charge of the custody of an inmate and the drivers that transport him back and forth, let's say from the Peoria County Jail, they had the court order, and when they get back, they log that in right away. So they know a week from Thursday, we're taking Charlie Jones, you know, back to court, and they get on that list. Now, if there are mistakes that are made, one of two things can happen. I've seen it happen just in the last week. They may say, oh, we didn't bring Charlie Jones in this morning. It was a mistake on our part. Well, can somebody run him down here? Well, that can be done. You can put him in a squad car instead of a transport wagon and get him to the courthouse. Or, okay, we'll address his case tomorrow morning, and we'll do it at 8:45 before our regular docket starts. So, you know, those are quickly fixed, those type of situations. And, you know, I mean, to me, it sounds like the situation where they didn't bring this clerical error sounds to me as though it could have been remedied pretty easily, but you wonder if the people at the detention facility are messing with the system a little bit just because they can.
Yeah, the other high-profile case I wanted to mention was Byron Kohlberger, who was sentenced to life for the murder of 4 University of Idaho college students, or at least in Idaho for that matter. And I noted that the court, the judge not only sentenced him to life, but ordered him to pay $270,000. Are you kidding me?
Well, you know.
He's going to be in jail making license plates. And remember when they used to do that in Illinois? Are you old enough to remember when prisoners made license plates?
Sometimes they said our governors actually made governors made license plates in Illinois.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're hitting below the belt now.
Yeah, okay. You know, absolutely. And sometimes they have to impose a fine under the law, although it's a nominal gesture, because you know they're not going to pay it. I saw a guy the other day in one of the other counties I was in. I was waiting for my case to be called, and he was sentenced to a long time in prison, plus a $5,000 sentence or $5,000 fine, to be paid within 1 year of his release. Well, if he gets released, number one. Number two, you know, after spending decades in prison, where's he going to get a job to pay $5,000? You know, and it's just, again, it's a feel-good situation, and that's about the worth of it, unfortunately. But you know, judges be judges, and some of them just say, well, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. There was a time when prisoners actually did work, I don't know what kind of work they did, and did get paid. Have those days come and gone?
I think they still do get paid. It's a very small amount of money, you know, maybe 50 cents an hour credit that can go on their books or stuff like that. But I had a client while he was awaiting trial, painted about 3/4 of the Peoria County inside of the Peoria County Jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was a win-win because of the fact he liked to paint. It occupied his time. He did a good job, and he saved the county probably $70,000. And you can bet when it came time to a sentencing hearing, I argued the good deed he did, and I think that was taken into consideration. So again, a win-win. And I used to see you don't as much anymore, and it's too bad. Used to see on the side of the road guys that were kind of the prison gang, they called them. They'd be cleaning up litter. They would be doing, some sort of community service type work, improvements, and you'd have a guard out there with a rifle in his hand just in case. And why not? I think that's a great thing to do if they can afford it and control it. Is again, it's a win-win. It gets these people out to gets them to be productive, and there's a good work. Excuse me. There's a good product at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I know that attorneys allegedly take certain things, trade out for the law fee. Is that how you got your house painted?
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, they didn't let my client out of jail to paint the house. But
okay.
I do remember when sometimes allegedly going way back. When certain judges would sentence people to community service, it might have been at their own house, and they weren't in custody at that point in time. But, whatever, that's no longer tolerated.
Oh, okay, all right. Roy said he was approached by a woman of the streets and said, "I'll do anything you want for $400, and Roy said, "Paint my house." Tell me about what the rights of an individual who's been arrested has, and starting from the moment he's handcuffed, or her, let's not make it a sexist at this point, what rights does that prisoner now have, or accused?
Let's just take a traffic stop that turns into an arrest. That's probably the most common situation we see. Any person has a right to remain silent, and not everybody has the ability to exercise that right, unfortunately. But you have the right from the minute you encounter a police officer to not say anything. Pretty much you've got to identify yourself. Normally what would happen is you get pulled over, the policeman's going to come up and ask for your driver's license. You're going to give it to them. They're going to say, why were you speeding? Officer, I'm going to not answer that question. I've got a Fifth Amendment right. Nobody exercises that right, but you can do that if you want. If then, let's say the officer smells cannabis, particularly raw cannabis, he's going to say, "Do you have any cannabis in the car? I can smell it." "Officer, I'm not going to answer that question." "Get out of the car." Well, the person has to get out of the car. If a police officer, under any circumstances, orders somebody out of the car, they have to comply with that. If they don't, it's considered obstructing a peace officer, and that in and of itself is an offense. Gets out of the car. Let's say the police officer is going to conduct a search of the vehicle.
Yeah. Well, do they have a right? Don't they have to have a reason for searching the car? They can't just say, "Well, you're out of the car, and I'm going to search your car."
No, they have to have particularized suspicion of another offense. Let's say you're stopped just for a speeding ticket. You're speeding 10 miles over that doesn't justify a search of the vehicle. If there's any sort of unusual movements, if the police officer, when he approaches the motorist, sees something that might be illegal, what they call plain view, if the officer, smells raw cannabis, and that's the big thing now because the Illinois Supreme Court kind of split the baby, and I'll get into that in a few minutes on the issue of cannabis. Then they've got to have additional particularized suspicion to delve deeper, and then they can conduct a search. Now, essentially a police officer could, let's say I'm stopped for speeding on the way downtown after this morning, "I want to search your car." "No, you don't have a right." "I do too." Well, he's going to search it, okay? The remedy's going to be handled in court down the road, whether it's going to be criminal court or whether it's going to be civil court. And Of course, they conduct, I know this for a fact, police officers conduct searches all the time where they don't find anything. We don't hear about that. You know, there's no charge, there's no case, there's no, you know, some people might want to sue civilly, and most attorneys will talk somebody out of that because what were the damages? How is that person aggrieved when they found nothing and maybe they were delayed another 5 minutes? So they, you know, normally we don't hear about that. But then let's say, using my example, let's say they find cannabis in the car, whether it's in the trunk or in the passenger compartment, whatever. Now they're going to place the person under arrest, let's say. So they say, you're under arrest on suspicion of illegally transporting cannabis or possessing cannabis. At that point, when they're taken into formal custody, the police officer should read them what we commonly call their Miranda rights.
Yeah. Are they still doing that? You never hear much about it anymore. I just wonder if it's gone away.
No, it's still the law of the land. And what's interesting is I'll have a client come in to me and say, the first thing he'll say to me, they didn't read me my rights. And I said, okay, let me explain to you what happened. And so in that situation, let's say a police officer puts somebody under arrest, cuffs them, puts them in the squad car, and does not give them their Miranda rights. But let's also say the police officer doesn't question them after that. No harm, no foul. The Miranda rights are to protect, advise somebody so that they are warned you have the right to remain silent. And then if they're questioned, they can say, I'm not talking, or I am talking. I'll waive my Miranda rights. Most everybody waive them because they think they're going to talk their way out of it and be cooperative. And they're giving away the farm, of course. But, you know, but no, that's when Miranda kicks in. They're going to, let's say they take you to the local jail. Now you're going to be entitled to at least three prompt phone calls.
3.
3. And again, prompt. It may be actually more than that, but that law changed with the Pretrial Safety Act. You're entitled to get in front of a judge in what they call a prompt manner within 48 hours. And then a determination would be made as to whether you're going to be detained or you're going to be released. Typically, for example, in Woodford County, they do detention hearings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Is that clogging up the courts?
A little bit, I would say, because it used to be where when we had cash bond, you would have a prosecutor, let's say, would get the list of people who were detained last night, and they're going to say, okay, John Doe, DUI, $300 bond, so-and-so, $200 bond, and let the jail know, and then there would be, the jail would say, okay, John Doe, your bond is $300. You have $300? No, but I'll make a call and get it. So they kind of avoid the court system that way. Now most everybody who's arrested on a felony does have to come into court under most circumstances. The prosecutors do have the authority to issue what is called a notice to appear. And that is, if it's a relatively minor situation, the prosecutor can review the situation and say, yeah, you know, this is equivalent of jaywalking. Give them a notice to appear for next month. And that means this person is now on notice. They have to appear, but there's no waiting around in court, or there's no having a bunch of conditions placed upon you or your movements or your release. So, but it is, I think it does take, for example, I've got a detention hearing today over in Woodford County at 1:30, and there'll probably be 7 or 8 people there today that are be detained that are going to, it's going to be determined if they're going to remain in custody or they're going to be released.
Well, the judge has to spend a lot of time in preparation, does he not, or she not?
Yes, and it's kind of like a flow chart with the Safety Act. You first of all now have to determine, is this charge one that is subject to detaining the person? Okay, if the answer is no, they're going to get released. If the answer is yes, we go to step 2. Is this person a real and present threat or danger to another person or persons or the community? If the answer is yes, you go to step 3. Are there any conditions, short of locking them up, that can be imposed that will mitigate that threat of dangerousness? And that's where everything really gets hung up on anymore, because I have found that the state of Illinois, when they enacted this law back in 2023, I don't think they provided the sufficient resources to make it effective.
Yeah.
In other words, if I want to get somebody out, maybe they're going to be on a monitor, maybe a GPS monitor, so that their whereabouts can be tracked. Maybe it's a crime involving the internet. Most of us cannot survive without the internet, whether it's a phone, tablet, or computer. So let's put a filter on this guy's computer so he can still do his online banking, his medication, whatever he's got to do, but he can't access certain websites. Illinois doesn't have that technology. The federal court does, but Illinois does not. So they're not, they enacted this, but they haven't kept up with technology, so to speak. There's other types of conditions that can be imposed. I also think, I've also asked a number of times, let's have pretrial services do a spot check to make sure somebody is where they're supposed to be at a particular time. No, they don't have the manpower to do that. So here you've got the Pretrial Safety Act that says, it's presumed everybody is subject to release, some people with conditions, but we don't have the ability to impose those conditions because we don't have the manpower, the technology, or the resources to back it up. And hopefully that's going to come online, but it's again, I think that's one of the short-sightedness of this particular law.
Yeah, and they need to tweak it to be
they
sure.
do.
Yeah, you represent the mayor of Peoria Heights. What can you tell us about where we are in that case?
I do. He's a super nice guy, and I am very pleased that the public comments that I've seen on social media, as well as the number of people who have approached me, really have a lot of respect for him and that he did the right thing on that evening in question. His case is actually set tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock in Peoria. It's just a status hearing, which basically we would advise the court what the plan is going forward. And at this point, I think that I will be announcing to the court that we want to take this to a jury trial, and hopefully we get a trial date tomorrow, sometime down the road, 6, 8, 10 weeks from now, and depending on the court schedule. And, that means that we could proceed to trial. We've always got the ability to have some sort of negotiation in the meantime, short of trial. We'll see what happens if the mayor changes his mind and decides, well, maybe I will. I've got a good offer here to resolve this. It won't be quite as, it won't be the free-for-all in the courtroom if it's a trial. Perhaps do that. So there's a lot of movement still. He retains all of his rights, and tomorrow is just one additional step in the process. So
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
I was going to say, I think all of us operate in certain circles, and I've been in this community for umpteen years, have somewhat of an ear to the ground, having served on the county board for 22 years in numerous city and county commissions and boards. And I keep hearing from people who are a lot smarter than I am said the state's attorney's office needs to drop those charges.
Well, I don't know that they will, and if I go to them and ask them, I can tell you to dismiss these charges, they're going to probably tell me really quick no and get on the first train out of town. I think it's got to come from them a little bit, and I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. He certainly did the right thing, in my opinion, and even the police officers that responded to the scene, I think 80% of them, 90% of them thought he did the right thing. There was one that said, no, we're going to run him in. We're going to take him in. He's this and this, and it's unfortunate. But I think the state's attorney would be reticent a little bit, and understandably. It may look like it's a political favor if it's dismissed, when in fact, look at the facts, and politics has nothing to do with this, in my opinion. At least there's no favoritism. Let's put your blinders on, treat him as anybody else in that same situation. What would they do in that situation? And it's hard to say what would happen at trial. There's no guarantees. You know, sometimes I think going in, we've got a really good chance in the trial. It doesn't turn out that way. I've tried cases that I tried to talk my clients out of going to trial. We got a not guilty, and I'm thinking, where did that come from? You know, so it's not a perfect system, but it's probably the best going in the world right now.
Yeah, the thing that I keep thinking about is if it goes to trial, certain people in the hierarchy, and I'm a big supporter of police and have always been for that matter, but I think some people might wind up being embarrassed.
Well, you know, it could be. It would probably be the police department, if anybody, under the circumstances. You know, it would be a relatively quick trial, I believe, because the issue would be, you know, was he intending or did he have the ability, which I would include the word desire, to start his car and move his car in that situation. The parking deck he was in was privately owned, privately maintained. He avoids the typical suspension people get when they get arrested for a DUI. And, you know, if percentages end up the way they have been so far with the number of people who have talked to me, and I've gotten approached in person, on the phone, I'm looking at social media. I've probably read over 2,000 comments that have been made.
No
like Facebook, Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I want to say 90% of the people, you know,
are defending the mayor.
Called BS in the situation.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, if those percentages was hold out in a jury selection and people felt that way, you know, then hopefully that's what occurs. And hopefully they have some realistic jurors that have been in that situation or know somebody that's been in that situation and realize that, you know, hey, this law is designed to be, it's actually more dangerous than, you know, because now you're encouraging people to, if you can't take shelter somewhere else, well, I'm going to drive home, try to sneak home and beat, you know, and not get caught because I can't sleep in my car. And you can't sleep in your trunk, you can't sleep in your back seat, you can't sleep in your front seat. You know, you can't say, I'm going to sleep till tomorrow when I'm feeling better. You know, I got to get home somehow, and now you're endangering any and everybody you would encounter on your way home, depending upon where you know. Now, here's the other thing. When they enacted this law, the legislative history said, if you're going to go out and drink, you need to make arrangements ahead of time to regarding a ride home. Well, that's a great theory, but not everybody that leaves the house, number one, is planning on drinking. Number two, not drinking to excess, and I'm not suggesting he did. But what if you run into a buddy and you go down to Jimmy's bar and you have a couple of beers and kind of an impromptu basis? What are you supposed to do under those circumstances? Try to drive home and, you know, and beat the odds, or, you know, sleep in your car. I don't think Jimmy wants you sleeping in his place all night. And, you know, now, you know, you've got Uber, you've got cabs, you've got, you know, a number of things, but not everybody can afford, not everybody's equipped to do that either. And sometimes getting a cab or an Uber is difficult around Peoria.
Couldn't he have slept under the car and have said, what are you doing under there? I'm checking my oil filter.
I'm making sure I still have a catalytic converter.
Exactly.
You know, he could have gone over and slept in the corner of the parking deck. But, you know, for example, there was a woman that left the event that night at the Père Marquette that was reportedly shot out in front of the Père Marquette. You know, sleeping downtown Peoria, I mean, everybody says, well, I suppose he could have gone in and gotten a room at the Père Marquette. Well, maybe he could. Maybe he wasn't carrying his credit cards. You know, could have gotten an Uber. Maybe he isn't set up for an Uber because you have to have that app, and then that's tied to a credit card. You know, and he probably could have slept on top of his car. But again, you know, parking decks historically are dirty. I think they're dangerous. They're not well sheltered. And, you know, and anymore, you know, the ability to start your car, I can start my car where I'm sitting right here on my phone, or with a key fob, you know, or a remote. And so, you know, the law has not evolved in this situation since about 1984 when this particular law went into effect.
You know, and speaking of law, DUI is an acronym for driving under the influence. I think the state of the law indicates that he wasn't guilty, and I'm not an attorney, because he wasn't driving. But the law says driving under the influence.
The title is driving under the influence, but
yeah.
when you drill down into some definitions, it's more expansive than that.
Well, I know, but you're going to drill down, not me.
Yeah, that's right.
Good. One final word I'd like from you, and it seems like the national media isn't making it as big a news that I think it should be, and we're certainly doing it, or I am, with the writing of the newscast. This woman who called to report the bad behavior of her son may have saved tens, maybe hundreds of lives at that event on the South Lawn of the White House. She needs to be elevated and applauded and recognized, because I don't know if every mother in this country would have reported her son acting strangely or doing something nefarious.
You know, it was a brave move and a gutsy move, because it's altogether likely her son, who she ratted out, is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And what a sacrifice she made for the greater good. And I would hope down the road that for her benefit, and I don't know what her age is, I don't know what her circumstances may be, but I would hope that the court would take into consideration that her son not get a life sentence. Obviously, he will be sentenced. It'll be swift and it'll be severe, but hopefully she has an opportunity to, be with her son again, to see her son, to interact with her son, to talk with her son, things like that, because that's really you talk about a dilemma, and that is gutsy, but I hope she is recognized for doing the right thing, and I hope that recognition comes from the White House.
Yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful, because, like you said, as everybody in this room, with the exception of the young fellow sitting next to you, has parental feelings, and it is, you're right, it was a dilemma, and you stop to think about some of the other shooters that weren't reported by their parents, and it shows you how significant her decision was, maybe to set a model for other mothers and fathers.
Yeah, this was really a sophisticated plan with drones, and then they also had an area they were going to have gunmen in when everybody ran for the doors, so to speak. So, kudos to her.
You bet. Kevin Sullivan, a little reminder, if people want to get more information about the legal process, the phone number is 309-672-2009. You bet. Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
And
everybody
good luck in court today.
Thank you very much.
You bet. News, weather, sports coming up next. In the next hour, we're going to talk to State Representative William Hauter of Morton, Illinois, and he has an event coming up that I think most people will look forward to getting the details on. In the meantime, you're having breakfast with Roger and friends on WAZU FM 90.7 and also on YouTube. Good morning to everybody watching us on worldwide YouTube. Everybody, it is a Wednesday, the 17th of June, and we begin with a check of the weather. Spoon River Home Health has been providing quality care for people in their Central Illinois homes now for over 30 years. They're a professional and compassionate staff of nurses, therapists, and home care assistants available to care for your loved one safely and comfortably. And you can reach them at 309-245-0723. That flood warning we've been under has now been reduced to a flood watch until 10 this evening. Otherwise, the big weather news is where we're going to get hit and when, with showers and thunderstorms along with strong winds today and tonight. Rain total 1 to 2 inches. Winds gusting to at least 37 miles per hour. The high today around 77 degrees. And we're going to hear in-depth and a live report on the weather. Again, the second one this morning from our meteorologist, Kyle Varnold, 8:45 this morning, so stick around. The overnight low tonight, 62 tomorrow, mostly sunny, a beautiful day, 75 Friday sunny and 78, and Saturday sunny and 84, correct. And right now our temperature is 62 degrees, and that's your live weather picture, complete with the current temperature. Now the news with Teri Chamberlain and Dave Poehls. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son, a potential major national tragedy has been averted. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who have been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom 250 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosives over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety.
FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included a 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons, and so far the 5 are not connected with any other country.
President Trump is in France, attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles are speculating on what's in the Memorandum of Understanding that has led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. It appears people who have had nothing to do with the apparent end of the war with Iran want the president to sell the peace plan to them before Iran buys into it, with a scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland, set for this Friday.
Israel has a major stake in the agreement. Israeli officials are concerned for obvious reasons. They have daily red alerts sending people into shelters, sometimes multiple times during the day because of drones and missiles launched by Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. Officials are cautiously optimistic that conflict will soon be over, but don't bank on it.
President Trump scored another political win, the latest in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Derek Dooley for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November.
Turning to local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night shortly after 10:30 p.m. has left an 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are searching for the gunman. And those are our headline news for this half hour.
All right, now a check of the news from WCBU, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal, home, auto, life, medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, and as many know, that's something he's been doing during his 40 years in the insurance business. Sam knows insurance. You can get more information from Sam Lilly at 309-245-4374. That number, once again, 245-4374.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ryan Denham. The National Weather Service is preparing for the possibility of 2 rounds of severe storms across central Illinois tomorrow, less than a week after 9 confirmed tornadoes tore through the region. The area is facing a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk of dangerous weather, with severe hazards from both waves. Alex Irwin is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
We're dealing with a pretty volatile environment, so both rounds of storms could bring damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes.
Irwin says the first round from mid-morning to early afternoon is likely to include heavy rainfall. That second round is expected to last from late afternoon through midnight. Governor J.B. Pritzker has announced an executive order to pause tax credits for data centers. Democratic State Representative Sharon Chung, representing Greater Peoria, says she opposes the pause on data center tax credits because they were one way to ensure companies would work with local unions.
The tax credit was one way to really just try and ensure that if they were coming in, that they were putting in project labor agreements, using local union labor. Those, for me, were safeguards for local union jobs.
Chung says she's unsure if Pritzker has the authority to pause the credits on his own without approval from the legislature. 6 civilians and 1 firefighter-paramedic who helped save lives during fires in Washington late last month are getting recognition for their efforts. Washington Fire Chief Tyler G. presented the 7 honorees with a commemorative coin during this week's Washington City Council meeting.
This just exemplifies what Washington is. You know, in a time of need, all of our residents step up, and this is a perfect example of that.
The fires were May 30th at the chapter's assisted living facility and the following day at apartments on School Street. People under 21 in Illinois will no longer be allowed to buy intoxicating hemp products, effective immediately. Governor Pritzker signed a bill package aimed at regulating intoxicating hemp-derived products that includes synthetic cannabinoids like Delta-8, which will be reclassified as cannabis and regulated the same way. It'll also expand access to medical cannabis and allow drive-through and curbside pickup options at dispensaries. You can find more news at WCBU.org. I'm Ryan Denham.
Okay, Ryan, thanks much. Now we turn to sports, and Travis Kileon wearing his St. Louis Cardinal jersey this morning. We'll give you the latest in sports, and we're getting ready to go to St. Louis, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Roger.
Well, have fun. You bet.
Sports news. The Peoria Chiefs at 32-32 play today at 12:05 p.m. versus the Dayton Dragons, the Cincinnati Reds affiliate. They play 5 more games against them at home. MLB news, the Cubs at 38-36 lose to the Rockies 5-2. They look to win the series tonight at 7:05 p.m. These Cubbies got to get going, you know. Got to get out of hibernation. The Cardinals at 40-31 beat the Padres 3-2 last night. They play today at 1:15. And number 3 overall prospect Joshua Baez went 4 for 5 with 4 homers and 7 RBIs last night. It's a heck of a day. White Sox at 38-33 lost to the Yankees 12-2 yesterday. They look to tie up the series tonight at 6:05 p.m. Big series for the White Sox. The Phillies at 40-33 beat the Marlins yesterday 8-2. Look to sweep them today at 12:05 p.m. And then we'll recap the champions kind of over the weekend last week. Your Stanley Cup champion is the Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL, and then in the NBA, the New York Knicks are your champions. And,
did you watch any of the hockey game?
I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Who were you rooting for?
Either. It didn't matter to me, really.
You just were watching it as a sports guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll let you get away from it.
I'll say the Hurricanes, though.
Yeah. I was rooting for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they hadn't won one in a minute, so I would say it was good that they won.
Didn't Vegas win last year?
They've been winning. They actually won their first year when they became one of the expansion teams.
I think that was around 2018, 2019,
yeah,
something like
crazy.
that.
Crazy. So they've won a couple already. So it was good that the Hurricanes won.
Yes, I agree. Good job.
Yeah. WNBA news: the Indian Fever are 9-5, 4-game win streak, and they beat the Toronto Tempo 113-91. That's one of the new teams. They play the Atlanta Dream tomorrow at 6:30. The Chicago Sky at 4-9 play tonight at 7 p.m.
How's the attendance been in the WNBA now that the aura of Caitlin Clark has kind of come and gone? I mean, she's there, but you don't hear much of her anymore because other players have been jealous and the referees have been letting her get banged up and so forth.
Yeah.
You don't hear much of her. You see her more on television commercials now than you do in the basketball game. But how's attendance? Is it still holding up or is it beginning to slack off?
I think it's still holding up.
Okay.
Because they were able to bring in 2 new teams. So that Toronto Tempo team.
Toronto?
Yep. So they got
the Canadians are playing basketball, women's basketball.
Yeah. So
they won't be as good at that as they are in women's hockey.
No.
They're tough.
Oh man.
They're among the best in the world.
Yeah. They're good.
Sorry to interrupt this fine flow of sports.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Teresa, thank you.
Right.
So are you. I think you're fine too.
The Chicago Bulls have finally gotten their new head coach, former player and NBA champion Tiago Splitter, who dealt with a lot of adversity in his lone season with the Blazers. He had to be the interim head coach after the firing and arrest of Chauncey Billups 2 days into the start of the season. So they lost the first game with Chauncey, and then they went 42-39 the rest of the way with Tiago Splitter, and they had key injuries. They were a young team, and they made the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. So yeah, so he did a fine job, you know, and he's a good player development guy, and he's learned from Greg Popovich and a bunch of other guys. He's still a young coach. He's 41, so
that's young.
I think it'll be good. Maybe he'll get our young guys going, and maybe we could see the Bulls. In the playoffs,
he'll do for the Bulls what Greg Console has done for the Cubs.
Yeah.
$8 million, and now they're fighting not to win the division but stay out of the cellar. It's up to the Cubs and the Pirates and the Reds to see who's going to finish last. Go Cubs!
Go Cubs!
Any other sports?
No, sir. That's it.
There you have it. And we continue on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. I want to talk a little bit this morning. Coming up, by the way, we're going to talk to Bill Hauter, state representative, and he has a program coming up on June 25th, an opportunity that I think a lot of people will take advantage of, but we'll tell you more when we talk to him coming up at following the 8:30 news. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about this play. I know our musical production. You were there, Terry, but and gave us your thoughts on Monday, I believe. Yeah, somewhere, yeah. But Dave, this was an event to involve the Peoria County Regional Office of Education. Tell us what I'm mumbling about.
You are not mumbling. You're very clear. So Simply the Best was this past weekend. And first of all, a huge thank you to both Brian Blanks and Mary Ellen Ulrich, both veterans of the Peoria theater scene. Any production they put together is always top-notch. They also are members of our Friends of the Peoria County Regional Office of Education. And the whole point was supporting arts and education in schools in the area. As you know, it's very important to development of any student. And as Terry and I were talking a little bit off air a little bit ago, some great talent, a mixture of kids that are involved in schools around the area, but also some of the graduates, so to speak, of the arts and education. It's an extension of our spring celebration that we've talked about many times on air here. And what it does is it just puts a focus on youngsters in the area performing and simply being the best they can be. So it was a musical review, Broadway musical review, and the numbers were just outstanding. And I think most of the feedback we got afterwards was, wow.
Yeah.
That's simply,
Is that right?
simply really good.
Really a great
I had
show.
seen,
Right.
over the past couple weeks, some of the dress rehearsals, and I knew it'd be good, but even better when they're in costume, and just everything from South Pacific to Mamma Mia.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite, girls? Girl and guy.
Yeah.
What was your favorite song?
My favorite
in the
was
production?
the "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." But
Oh, that was good.
Was that a duet?
the whole ensemble did it.
Yep.
It was, of course, Elvis Presley did it in Blue Hawaii.
Yeah.
But there's a musical called All Shook Up that I saw, of course, like a few years ago. Which is, of course, a story of Elvis. Or an Elvis-like person, I should say.
Yeah.
And it uses
I'm all shook up.
It uses Elvis's music. And so that was what they were basing this
That was
on.
Who provided the music itself? Was it a pianist?
No,
a
it was actually
band?
recorded.
It was recorded
yeah,
music.
recorded
Oh, okay.
music,
All right, all right.
but still, just the sound was great. You know, it's hard for performers with mics, but I was thinking back on, I mean, my gosh, the 2 excerpts from Greece they did. The dancing was phenomenal.
Really?
Yes.
I liked, you know, What I Did for Love, the closing number from Chorus Line.
Yeah. Who did that? Was that ensemble?
The whole ensemble.
Ever?
Started with one soloist, and as it fades, the whole
No
cast
kidding,
comes out.
really.
And,
Who produced it?
this is Brian Blanks and Mary Ellen Ulrich. Were
did a
just
good
directors,
job with
co-directors,
it, what it sounded
choreography
like.
was, and again, so many members, you know, from the Peoria theater community just came together. The contacts, I mean, the long list of people who really developed, and there were a lot of sponsors too. So one of the reasons, what was the purpose? It was a fundraiser for arts and education. I don't know how much is made. That's still being tabulated. But again, what it does is goes in and supports arts and education, theater productions, you name it, which can be kind of pricey after a while. And in these days of cuts, hopefully it'll help alleviate some of those.
Yeah. What kind of attendance was there?
Well, it was, I mean, I don't know if it was a sellout. There were still a few seats on Friday, but it was pretty packed. Friday
Was it a
and
good
Sunday,
audience, good sized
very good.
audience?
Yeah,
You know,
Sunday
the
was a good
problem was
crowd.
I didn't make it. I wanted to make it,
Yeah.
but I had too many distractions. Some personal, some are community involvement, and so the passing of a loved one, of acquaintance, and just too many competing. And at my age, I don't run around with a great deal of speed. And whatever. So I was really disappointed. And what makes it even disappointing is when I hear how great it was.
Well,
how
I'll
great
show
thou
you.
art.
When we're off air, I'll show you some excerpts. I have them videos, so
You did,
I'll show you a
okay.
couple.
Could make me feel worse.
No, make
Yeah.
you feel anticipating, because one
You're
of the
gonna do
things,
it again,
the
maybe?
feedback, it was supposed to be kind of a one-off sort of thing, and everybody was saying, let's do this again. I think there's a lot
Thank
of
you.
talk about coordinating it again for next year and making it sort of.
Well, why do you
annual.
have to wait until next year? Why not do it in the
Let's
winter?
do it next week, right?
And do it again. Do it again.
Sure. So anyway, thanks for asking. It was a wonderful, and thank you, any of the listeners out there. I know there were several for coming and supporting, because you did not just supported this particular event, but also supported kids and what they're doing right.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Well, it's another example of what we've said for years and years and years. Peoria, Central Illinois, let's not just say Peoria,
Right.
is loaded with talent.
Very much so.
Theatrical talent, singing talent, musical talent.
Right.
And boy, that from the sound of things, that certainly illustrated that. Good luck. Tell your dad to drive carefully. Our sports guy is on the way to St. Louis
Get
to watch
another Cardinals
the
win.
Cardinals get
Yeah.
beat today.
No, we're going to see a win. We're sending our best person. He just got called up.
Yeah,
He
he's
just got called up
on.
to
He's
the
on
majors.
assignment. Yeah. Had to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Have fun eating that $10 hot dog.
A St. Louis hot dog is always a tasty hot dog, right? Yeah.
You go to Chicago, no ketchup.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
No ketchup.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
All right.
Well, have fun,
Take care.
Tyrus. You bet. Well, from the sound of things, everything was absolutely wonderful. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And we're on the edge of our seats worrying about, 1, 2 waves? Did he actually even talk about possible third wave? And when we're talking about the wave, we're talking about bad
Not this
storm.
kind of wave.
The first one,
Not this
Not
yeah.
this way.
You know, that reminds me when Victor Berger came to town. We saw him down. He was in the arena, not in the theater part, and he started trying to move his piano. And he said backstage, he said, "Somebody give me a hand." And a hand came between the two curtains and waved at everybody. And later on, he introduced that hand belonged to his son, who was traveling with him. He was absolutely magnificent. And I don't think he ever in his career, when he put on shows, unless he appeared, and I think he did a number of times with the New York Philharmonic, maybe, or in Washington, he never finished the song.
No, never completed.
You want to say, finish, play the rest of it, Victor. Anyway, here's our pet tip of the day this morning.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Greyhounds are well known for their tremendous racing speed. They are also very popular pets. Ask almost anyone who has adopted a retired greyhound and they will tell you that all the dog really wants to do is relax now and be loved. Greyhounds are gentle, affectionate, and fairly laid-back dogs that make excellent house pets. Some may still have the desire to chase small critters, but not all do, and the foster parent will be helpful in pointing out the more laid-back dogs. Most get along very well with children because of their tolerant and friendly nature. Because they are being adopted as adults, most will walk away from a child rather than growl or snap if they are bothered. No corn, wheat, or wheat flour in it. Also, a dog's food containing meat byproducts should be avoided, as these byproducts are ground-up remains of animals like beaks and feet. Like other dogs, they should not have table scraps either. After years of racing, they just want to be with you, laying at your feet or on your lap. They are a very clean dog, and their short, tight coat doesn't require brushing or haircuts or frequent bathing. This can be a plus for a very busy family. They make good babysitters, too. They like to watch the little ones and be near them constantly. So the next time you think about adopting a rescued animal, please look into a greyhound. They might just suit your busy lifestyle the best. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. Hey, we need our history question this day in history. June 17th, 1885. What happened in the United States of America?
Would it involve a state coming into the Union?
No.
Okay.
Would not.
That eliminates that then.
Is it a good thing?
Yeah, it was a very good thing. Memorable, historical.
Was it on the East Coast?
Yeah, on the East Coast.
On the East Coast.
1885.
1885. Mm-hmm.
That's 20 years after the Civil War.
Okay. So we're going to need a little
And
categorical
it was
hint.
very positive.
Okay. East Coast, can you narrow it? Was it a metropolitan area?
Yes.
Okay. Did it happen in Boston?
No.
Okay.
New York.
New York City, indeed.
1885. Was something dedicated?
Yes.
Would it be the Statue of Liberty?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Well, it wasn't dedicated.
It was installed.
It arrived.
It arrived from France as a gift
from France. Well,
yes, France.
Parlez-vous. It arrived in what kind of condition?
Pieces.
Pieces
Yes.
is right.
How many pieces?
I want to say that I remember seeing a historical picture one.
Hundreds.
Okay, I was going to say five major ones.
Not hundreds of hundreds, but hundreds.
Okay.
Well, I'm waiting.
Oh, I thought you wanted, all right.
Yeah.
200.
Higher.
300, 450.
Okay, you 350. You covered.
I like to
300
cover the
individuals.
spread.
What was this? The statue's name?
Lady Liberty.
Yes, right. Made from what?
Copper.
Copper and
Was it not?
what element? What
granite?
other element?
Granite?
Pardon?
Granite.
No.
Steel?
Yeah, that's good enough. Iron, copper, and
Oh,
iron.
okay.
And it was assembled where?
I mean,
In New York.
In New York.
Yes.
On the
Where?
island.
It has a name where it was assembled.
Ellis Island?
No, but you're close.
It's, yeah, I forget the island's name.
Think of its name.
Liberty Island?
Liberty Island is correct. And it was dedicated in the ceremony by U.S. President
Grover Cleveland?
Grover Cleveland is correct. And they did that the following year. And it was designed by who?
Eiffel.
By Frederick Bartholdi.
Oh,
Bartholdi. I know. He modeled her features after what? After who?
His mother?
His mother, that's right. Very good. And let me see. And it was assisted by an engineer. And who was the engineer? A Frenchman, of course.
That's Eiffel.
That's right. What was his first name?
Feifel. Eiffel.
Gustave Eiffel, who would later be famous for the iconic Eiffel Tower in Paris. The statue was a gift to commemorate the American Revolution and a century of friendship between the two countries that are somewhat restrained and have been because of the French or something else. The French alone paid an estimated how much money for this statue?
200.
Less than $1 million.
250,000.
That is absolutely correct. Well, class, you go to the head of the class for good job. Nice going. Anyway, we're going to talk to State Representative William Hauter coming up. But first, let's get into a check of the news brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance service in the state of Illinois, not just Peoria. There are more than 500 AMT employees, men and women, who are dedicated to offering and providing the best in healthcare. Saving lives is what they do, and what a great job. What wonderful people. Teri, you have the news.
Yes, thanks to a mother who loves her country as much as her son. And she loves the son as much as she loves her country. Not that the son loved, anyway.
Well, anyway, what she did was wonderful.
What she did was wonderful.
Yeah.
She averted a potential major national tragedy. The Federal Bureau of Investigation announced that the mother's phone call led to the arrest of her son and 4 others who've been accused of plotting to attack people attending the UFC Freedom 250 event Sunday night on the south lawn of the White House. The 5 men were planning to use drones to drop explosive over the crowd of more than 4,000 and then start shooting as people ran to safety. FBI agents arrested 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Danville, Ohio, the son of the tipster. The others apprehended included 31-year-old from Nebraska and 3 others from California. Agents recovered a number of weapons. So far, the 5 were not connected with any country in the world. President Trump is in France attending and leading the G7 summit with leaders from all over the world. In this country, everyone in the media and in political circles is speculating on what's in the Memorandum of Understanding that has led to a temporary ending of hostilities in the Middle East and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. A scheduled signing in Geneva, Switzerland is set for this Friday. President Trump scored another political win. The latest was in Georgia, where his endorsement helped Representative Mike Collins defeat former college and professional football coach Derek Dooley for the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate. Collins will run against Democrat John Ossoff in November. In local news, a shooting in the 1100 block of East McClure Monday night, shortly after 10:30, has left the 18-year-old victim in serious condition at a local hospital. Police are searching for the gunman. And those are the headlines, Roger.
Now a check of the weather. Here is the guy who knows all about weather, Dave Poehls.
Well, I know a few things, and I know that today our flood warning's been reduced to a flood watch from 7 this morning to 10 this evening. However, that does lead into our big weather news, and we're going to get hit with some showers and thunderstorms today. According to our meteorologist, Kyle Varnold, it seems like 2 or 3 waves are coming our way, so one's getting ready to come along now, so please be safe and stay dry out there. Strong winds are coming along with those showers and thunderstorms, and we could end up with some torrential downpours of 1 to 2 inches. Winds, of course, gusting up to 37 miles an hour in those storms. So, again, several waves. Just be very vigilant out there, and please be careful. High looking in the mid-70s today. Rain should end tonight around 8 to 9 p.m. and then dipping down to a low of 62 degrees. And then tomorrow, a nice little recovery coming our way.
Day, yeah.
Mostly sunny and breezy. A high of 75 on the exit of the front coming through. And Friday, sunny and 78. Currently, we're looking at 64 degrees with rain on the way.
Yeah, rain on the way, and wind and rain and a little bit of everything for that matter.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Yeah, you bet it. All right, on the line we have State Representative Bill Hauter. We're going to talk to him a little bit this morning. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Roger.
Thanks for joining us. Tell everybody, you put together an event coming up June 25th from 11 to 1 p.m. in Morton. And what are you planning to do for the people of Central Peoria and Morton and the area?
Well, we have our annual shred event. So we shred household records and private files and papers that you want to bring in, and it's a very popular event. People, we get a long line of people. So, yeah, come early. 11 to 2. What is it?
11 to 1.
2. 11 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot even. So we have it in the old AC Church parking lot. It's across from the Jefferson School in Morton. It's called Church Park now, I think, and we have the traffic goes in one way and goes out the other way, and you can watch your records being shredded if you'd like to make sure that they're being shredded. We have a professional, group company that does all the shredding for us. So it's a very popular event, and we're going to do it again this year.
You know, all of us have papers, and we want to get rid of them, but because of so much personal and confidential information, you don't want to just throw it in the garbage. I doubt anybody's going to go to the dump and read it, but we still have that concern about security and so forth. So this is a great service indeed that you're providing. How'd you come up with the idea?
We have we try to do a few things for constituent services, and we have that in our district office budget that we would do that service. We do it once a year. And my wife just reminded me, it's called Church Square. And so it'll be in Church Square, and you're right. There's a lot of identity theft, and a lot of it starts with not only online, but just finding papers and with your name on it, address, and certain numbers. And so this is a really good way to make sure. And also, the stuff you just have up in your attic from 7, 10, 15 years ago. I know I have a lot of old, tax documents and canceled checks and all these things that have my account numbers on them. So, yeah, it's a good thing to get it all shredded.
Yeah, I find it quite handy. I've got a lot of hate mail I need to get rid of, and I didn't know. Just want to throw it in the garbage.
We'll compare hate mail. I get online hate. Not so much email hate, or paper hate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're in politics. You're a Republican, so I'm not surprised. But at any rate, I can't let you go, Bill, without talking about the big budget that apparently, according to the governor, is balanced, but it also includes some new taxes. Give us your thoughts about the budget.
Well, I voted no, and I'll tell you why. Again, this year, largest in Illinois history, absolutely ridiculous. Another tax and spend budget, no control of spending, and again, raising taxes. Over $800 million in new taxes. Some of the taxes aren't even probably legal and are in other states. They're novel, and they're being adjudicated in other states as we speak. And so, there's a social media platform fee tax, which is being litigated. There is a digital ads tax that's novel and also probably going to face litigation. And there's, gambling and prediction market taxes. There's all these, new taxes, and especially I'm worried about the new taxes on businesses. And it's kind of a backwards tax. It doesn't allow them to take deduction and losses like they usually could. And we've decoupled a lot of the deduction abilities from the federal tax code. All of these things hurt businesses. And again, raising taxes on people in Illinois, we have the largest tax burden in the country, and that is horrendous for the people of Illinois and the population. And people are moving and leaving, and businesses and jobs are leaving, and this budget just makes that worse.
It makes it more attractive to leave town. Bill Hauter, is the a potential loss of the Bears under discussion in Springfield?
Yes, definitely. It is. It's very concerning the way that this governor, this administration, and this General Assembly has dealt with the Bears. You can think what you want, but they are a large, iconic franchise in Illinois that produces a lot of economic activity. And there can be, just like we have any business that produces large economic activity that wants to stay in Illinois or come to Illinois, we can become attractive to them. But increasingly, with our budget, like we just mentioned, and with our governance, we are unattractive. And so just like many Illinoisans and many Illinois businesses have made the rational decision to move out of state to be successful or to continue to be successful or not come to Illinois, the Bears are contemplating the same thing. Now, we can talk about, Roger, we can talk about it, this is a negotiating tactic, and I believe it is somewhat of a negotiating tactic, but there is real concern that the Bears may leave Illinois and say whatever you want to say, a lot of economic activity from the Bears and from surrounding businesses, hotels, and restaurants will be greatly affected if the Bears are not in Illinois.
Yeah, I think we all know Governor Pritzker wants to run for President of the United States, and his inability to save the Bears from going to Indiana could hang tightly around his neck if indeed he decides to run for president, which I think he will. So I don't think the Bears are dead yet in Illinois, but it's on life support.
I totally agree with you. I'm very confident that Governor Pritzker will be running for president, and we see he's doing many, many things to try to shore up his, let's just say, progressive credentials. And that is not good for Illinois either. But we see a lot of decisions being made that it's just mystifying to me how a governor, you look at California, you look at Illinois, and people are leaving in droves. People are voting with their feet. And they want to take, a governor like Governor Pritzker wants to take his record of taxing and spending and the highest pension debt in the country, the loss of population and businesses, the highest tax burden in the country, and he wants to take that nationwide as part of his credentials for running for president. It's mystifying to me how anyone in the country could want what we have in Illinois.
Yeah. Bill Hauter is not mystifying about the shredding event coming up on June 25th from 11 to 1 p.m. at 107 East Jefferson Street in Morton, Illinois. Thanks for coming up. How many years have you been doing this?
This is 4 years now, and I'm running for re-election in November, and I don't have any opponents. I'm pretty confident I might win.
Yeah, I think you have the inside track on the race. So keep up the good work. Bill Hauter, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Always good to talk to you. Thank you.
You bet. State Representative, 87th District, Bill Hauter, and take your shredded papers or papers to be shredded. I believe it is a Thursday. June 25th, is
Yes.
that a Thursday? From 11 to 1. Mr. Weather will join us shortly. In the meantime, we pause for this message.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency presents actress Marion Ross as Marion.
You sure you're ready?
I'm ready.
Because it's not hard to be ready.
That's why I'm ready.
Really, really ready?
Yes, Marion. My company has a business emergency plan in place in case of a disaster.
Good. You're one of the biggest companies in town. A lot of small businesses depend on you.
Well, we have a plan and emergency supplies.
Water?
Check.
Food?
Check.
Flashlights and battery-operated radio?
Check and check. This business of mine could not be more ready.
Excellent, dear.
We are ready.
And your vendors and suppliers also have emergency plans in place?
What?
If the companies you rely on aren't prepared, think how long it could take you to get your business back up and running.
Yeah, I guess I could be a little more ready.
What, dear?
I said I guess I could be a little more ready.
Atta boy.
For more, visit ready.illinois.gov to find out how to make your business emergency ready. Sponsored by the Illinois Emergency Management Agency. And don't forget to check out ready.illinois.gov on Facebook and Twitter.
And coming up, we're going to talk about this, what did Kyle say? 2 waves of bad weather? Well, we'll find out exactly what he meant by 2 waves, because Kyle's on the line. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How are we?
No, we're doing fine. Did you say 2 waves, right? Or is there 3 waves possible?
3. Well, 2 waves, maybe 3. We talked at the 6:50 hour.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it, but the storms are currently moving in.
No, we haven't heard. Is it lightning and thunder?
You haven't heard it yet?
Tell me
Okay.
No, maybe I have.
Yeah. The storms are moving in. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, actually, just to the west of you in Fulton County, and those storms will be coming this way. Basically, the long and the short of it is those dying storms coming out of Iowa. They stopped dying. They're maintaining their strength, and they're moving in with a really impressive wind core. We've seen some wind gusts still coming across the Mississippi of 80 to 90 miles an hour. So that first wave could be very impactful. That's why the tornado watch, I don't know if you were aware, but it was just issued about 25 minutes ago by the National Weather Service. Because with this initial line coming in, because it's formed almost a bow signature, we're looking at strong, damaging straight-line winds, and we've talked about it several times, but this is where we get those QLCS, those quasi-linear convective system vortexes, these spin-ups along the leading outflow. So that's actually what we're looking at currently with this incoming line of storms. So now we thought the first wave would be more severe wind, hail, rain. Now we are looking at embedded tornadoes, and even the first wave here in the morning hours as it approaches the area. And then the second wave, of course, will be the one where if it does develop on the backside of this, depends on how long the air stays rain-cooled or not. If it doesn't stay rain-cooled for a while, we could see that second wave develop between that 12 and 1:30 time frame, which will be the initial supercells of the day, which will drop the first probably tornado or 2 of the day. And then the main event is 3 to 5 this afternoon into this evening.
Earlier, the National Weather Bureau predicted 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. You pretty well go along with that, more or less, one way or the other?
Especially with what's coming out of Iowa right now and across northwestern Illinois. I would say, honest to God, probably 1.5 to 3 inches for the total today.
Yeah, we're in, I just
think
noticed the National Weather Bureau said we're in a tornado watch now.
Tornado watch was issued after 8 o'clock.
Until 3 this afternoon. What's the weather? Are you in Peoria or Washington?
I'm in Washington still. Okay. I'm actually helping out a person change a battery, doing a good deed here because I saw they were stranded. So we're getting the battery changed out.
Well, good for you. You're a
we
good
tried to
Christian
jump them,
young
but it
man.
didn't work.
You're
You're far too kind. No, it's okay. Just I learned a lot on the farm, so.
Well, you're doing a good job, for that matter. So we should hunker down.
Yeah. No, we hear the thunder in the distance. So yeah, it's. I mean, we definitely want to hunker down. So what SPC is seeing, and I read the forecast discussion about a half hour ago, is we're looking at the mesoscale convective system. We call it MCS. So it's basically SPC in Norman, Oklahoma feels strongly that this bow echo signature is not only going to continue to grow in strength, but it's going to increase as it encounters that instability and that wind shear, which is already over us. So how they see it is this leads to the possibility for almost like a derecho-like storm with that 80 to 100 mile an hour winds with those isolated embedded tornadoes. So that is why they went and issued the tornado watch so very early today. And I wouldn't be surprised if the tornado watch is extended around 1, 2 o'clock to maybe 8 o'clock tonight or 7 o'clock tonight. I do think the main feature after this initial wave, which could be really damaging winds just to start, the main feature is 3 to 5 this afternoon into tonight.
Okay, I think you said the best thing to do, given the forecast and the potential, including tornadoes, is stay home.
Yeah, very much so. We talked about
so are you on the way to your office?
To go out,
are you on the way to your office?
No, once we get this battery switched out and reconnected and everything, yeah, I'll be on the way. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Now, here's a very important question for you and for our two panelists. I bought a turkey sandwich Saturday at the Tremont Turkey Festival. And
oh, delicious.
It is in my refrigerator. Is it still good? Would you eat it? I don't mean you personally, but if you bought it on Saturday, is it
in
still?
The refrigerator?
Yeah, it's in the refrigerator and has been.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, you should see me at Thanksgiving. Sure. I ate turkey for like 2 weeks. It's delicious.
Well, you can handle intestinal issues. Grandpa Monroe's a little different. Well, thanks for telling me that, because I'm not going to go to the store then, because I've got turkey coming out of my ears. And if the three of you and all of them are nodding their heads, Dave, you agree? Is it okay?
I would have that turkey.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I feel better, so I'm going to rush home and gobble the turkey, because I thought the turkey this year, I don't know whether you will agree with me, Kyle, was among the best they've ever had.
It's very, very good turkey. I don't know if it's the best I've ever had. I've had some really good turkeys in my lifetime.
Well, I don't mean, Kyle, I don't mean, I meant for the Turkey Festival of previous years.
Oh, yes.
This is among the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. No, they do a great job. It's a wonderful festival. We had a great time Friday night. I think I told you we tried the turkey wings this year. I did the hot wings, a little spicier than what I thought they'd be, which was great for me because the kids didn't touch them, so I ate them all.
Yeah, you.
Open for Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't get to the strawberry shortcake because the line was so long, and I was just like, I'm not getting in another line. And I actually offered my son $10. I told him I would pay $10 to go get in line, and then I'll come and replace him. Once Carrie and I got done playing on the playground over there, because it's so funny. You can do this carnival for like $45-50 armband, but at my daughter's age, she'd rather just play on the playground because they have a really nice playground in the park there too.
Yes, they do.
So she's playing on the playground, and I saved $50.
Yeah, it was, I don't know whether they set a record in attendance because they did have some inclement weather, particularly Thursday night.
Oh, yes, Thursday night, yeah. No, I recommended people not go Thursday night.
Yeah, but typically I was always, according to my son who used to live in Tremont, Thursday night was usually kind of for hometown folks only, and they had a special discount for the rides. I don't know if the festival actually officially opened Thursday night like it did Friday, but other than that, the weather was pretty cooperative for it, wasn't it?
Oh, very much so. The weather was fantastic this past weekend. Aside from that little skip of rain we had Saturday morning, quick downpour, no more than 15 minutes. But no, it was phenomenal weather for the Turkey Festival. And, we are looking at pretty decent weather Friday, Saturday. I mean, we're looking at decent weather after today. Today is the day that we said on Monday, aside from Wednesday. Today is the day we just don't go out. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, phenomenal weather. Sunday, apologies to the fathers. Probably not going to get a cookout in because it's going to be a very stormy Father's Day this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, the other question I have for you, as a resident of Washington, we talked about the Tremont Turkey Festival's come and gone.
Yeah.
The Strawberry Festival in Elmwood. I don't know about the Popcorn Festival in Manitoba. But doesn't Washington have a Cherry Festival?
No, they changed the Cherry Festival to Good Neighbor Days because after the tornado, they're like, oh, let's all be good neighbors. And then it totally lost its theme. It totally lost the initial founders and the organizers behind it. And it's complete crap now. It's just, there's no special features. There's no cherry food. There's nothing of significance. It's just a carnival in an empty lot that Mr. Bierce owns, which is fun in its own right. And Washington has wonderful things and activities like Rove and Ramble on the Square every Thursday night. They have the Rock in the Fields in August. They have a lot of events, but they no longer have that core festival that so many Midwestern towns do, and it's a damn shame because, you know, people are now giving their business to the Morton Pumpkin Festival, which is my favorite of the local festivals every year. And then the Tremont Turkey Festival, Metamora's Old Settler Days, the Marigold Festival, the Strawberry Festival, Dunlap Days, which is kind of like the Washington event. It's just like a carnival in a park type thing. There's not a lot of theme behind it. I know Chillicothe is introducing a new festival this year. So they used to have Claude Ellen Days, but people didn't know who the hell Claude Ellen was.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Claude
now
Ellen,
they're having it. Yep, they're having a festival next month. And the idea behind it, because I know there's some of the people that are starting this, they want this to be the new Heart of Illinois Fair. That's their goal.
Really?
They want it to be big enough like the old Heart of Illinois. Yep, I'll be out at Three Sisters Park next month.
That is sensational. Well, Washington could have what they call the Crap Festival, and have that maybe in November or October. Nothing for that. Yeah. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know when the Crap Festival starts in Washington, and we'll promote it.
Yes.
And be in your neighborhood. Yeah. All right, let's hunker down and be aware of the big first and second wave of storm. And
yes, so the first wave, real quick, I don't know how much time we have. The first wave, because it'll be so intense now with that potential derecho feature with those strong damaging winds, that could destabilize the atmosphere to the point where we might not see the second wave or even the third wave. So that's something, as a meteorologist, I look at like, okay, if the first wave is so strong, it could essentially stabilize the atmosphere to the point where we don't get a destabilization with the second or even the third round, that 3 to 5 time frame we've been talking about. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of it.
All right, and we'll do that. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day. God bless you.
You too. Stay safe, all right, guys?
You
All
bet.
right, have a great day.
Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather, with outlook on what's happening. That wraps up our program, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being a part of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. Also on YouTube. You folks watching on YouTube, hey, we had a good audience this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. And we're going to wrap up. We were talking about Elvis Presley. And what song were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about
Yes.
You Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
No, we were also talking about.
Well, because the show was called All Shook Up.
Oh, I see. Well, how about All Shook Up? Do you remember that?
Yep.
I sure remember it. So, Elvis Presley, are you available to sing? And apparently, he isn't. Well, no, go ahead. Elvis.
Peanut butter and banana
Yeah. All right. Elvis, thanks for trying your very best. Have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. So long, everybody. Be careful out there.